There's lag. There we go. It says I'm live. Okay, rollerbooters, welcome back. As many of you probably already know, Sean Keane got dropped from Rollerblade, the Rollerblade BLANK team, just in the last, call it 48 hours. At least that's when it was announced. And we have Dave here from Wheel Scene, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. And
Cheers, everybody.
cheers. Happy Friday, everyone. We encourage you to engage in chat, ask questions. We'll do our best to just have this be an open discussion. Just recently, or just in the last, what I can't, like today, a few hours ago, he posted this big long one. You saw this, Dave, yeah?
Yeah.
So big thing, he gets most of it out of the way right here in the first sentence, more or less. But budget cuts and not posting on here enough are the reasons I'm no longer on RB/blank. And so there's a lot more here too about his injury and recovering. And he gives a lot of stuff. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I encourage you, if you're watching this after the fact or whatever, I'll leave this up here. So in case you want to pause and read it, you can. But I guess this is no surprise to me. Budget cuts, Dave. Is that what you were thinking or no?
I think everyone's knee-jerk reaction was, Rollerblade, like they suck, like the big, like, because they've sacked their whole team before and stuff like that. And loads of people have messaged me about this and been like, are you going to get me on the podcast? Are you going to do a video? And I'm like, or why are Rollerblade not putting out an official announcement about this? People get dropped from teams all the time and there's no official announcement. So expecting a brand to suddenly start doing that just isn't going to happen. To be honest, I really, really like Sean Keane. I think he's a really good skater. I love his static section that Casey Bigozzi filmed. Watched it so many times. His binary section that Mike Torres filmed. Watched that even more. But the fact is, like, if anyone was going to get chopped from the team, he's kind of first in line. Because you've got Cameron Talbot, who's putting out a couple of sections a year and has a regular Instagram presence. And then you've got Sean, who's had 2 sections in the last 6 years and never puts out Instagram clips. Companies care about social media presence, and he's not. I get it, he's been injured, but what's been his excuse for the last 6 years?
Yeah.
Like, even see if you look at his Pro Skate promo, the first couple of clips were old clips. They weren't even his Pro Skate. He's skating the first couple of clips. He's skating solos.
Mm-hmm. On not on this one, was it? Sean Keane blank SK here a year ago. Yeah. It was this one. Okay.
And within the first minute, there's at least 2 clips. He's riding solos, not blanks.
Yeah. This is
so I get it from.
Oh yeah, first clip.
So that was not even recent footage for the time. Also, bear in mind that promo came out, almost a year after the skate came out?
Yeah.
Like, I love Sean to bits, and I'm the first person to jump on board slagging off a company, and I've slagged off Rollerblade a heap. But in this case, they're not getting their money's worth. Also, it's worth bearing in mind, Rollerblade pay a monthly wage.
Right.
Like Cameron, it may not be a lot of money, but Cameron Talbot came on and said, he gets a monthly wage from Rollerblade or Blank or whatever. Sean was getting that and incentives from his Pro Skate. And what were Blank getting in return?
Yeah, also, not a lot of clips.
How popular is that skate? Because I don't know anyone who rides it.
It is interesting. I've thought about Mike, my buddy Mike and I have talked a lot about this. Where I see a handful here and there, but yeah, blanks are pretty rare. I mean, the people who love them, but as far from a sales perspective, I just wonder how well they're selling.
Like, we were at Winter Clash. The only people I saw skating them were people on the team.
Yeah.
So
do you think part of this too? I mean, because he's the only one on the team with a Pro Skate. You would think that as such he'd be getting paid the most. So is that part of the case too, where it's like, hey, you have, and to your point, like I don't know when he got hurt. but
He
it
had had
sounds
a
like
couple of injuries. He had the one last year, but when he was on Jump Street podcast, he'd also wrecked himself as well. And Jump Street was a few years
yeah,
ago, so he
yeah,
has had persistent serious injuries,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
which again
Uh,
sucks and it's unfair. But the fact is, if you're regularly injured and you can't produce content, you're of no value to the brand.
mhm. And it is a, I mean, Technica Group, yeah? Technica, like, big corporate, sort of governance, more or less, or whatever you wanna call it, Technica Group, Skate. Um, you know, they're I'm sure they're really scrubbing over their quarterly this and annual that, and really financially driven too, and if it's not if some of these actions aren't driving sales, then I don't know.
I can't imagine Blank are really on Technica's radar that much. I would
Mhm.
think that their budget is incredibly small compared to the other companies or operations that they have going on. And also, it's not like this is a brand that, bear in mind, Rollerblade dropped Kevin Lapierre because he lived in Canada, right? Kevin Lapierre
Mm.
was putting out sections all the time, fairly consistent on social media at the time, had a lot of hype around him, and they dropped him because it was too expensive to have a rider in Canada because they didn't want
Mm.
to fly him to events and stuff. Canada's not
Right.
far away from North America. It's like right there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if your justification for dropping a rider is he lives too far away when he lives in Canada, then yeah, you can see how they'd be like, wait a minute, you're not playing the social media game, Sean. You're not putting out parts. So like I've got a lot of respect for Sean. I really like him, but I completely get it from the company's perspective. I think it's perfectly justified. The
Mhm.
sad thing about it is the only other person left on the pro team that I actually enjoy watching is Cameron.
Yeah.
Like, I
That's
don't.
oh, I guess well, who's actually here's the thing, Dave. I'm so tired. I was ranting about this on stream yesterday. Why don't companies make it explicitly clear who's on the pro team? I don't wanna go down this rabbit hole, but I couldn't find a document. "Hey, this is our pros, this is our AMs
Yeah.
or
In America,
ambassadors."
the only other person on the pro team, as far as I know, is Tony Woodland, and
Yeah.
I don't think Tony's pro level.
Yeah.
Like
Fair enough.
the last section he put out for Blank was
Mhm.
not up to scratch. In fact, it had a couple of pretty questionable tricks in there.
Oh, did it? I remember
It had,
seeing this, but it's been a while, yeah.
there's
It's
an
been
alley
a year
topside
ago.
that is not even remotely locked in,
Oh, okay, I remember this now. Yeah,
and that's
I
not even the
remember that
worst.
one now.
That's not even the worst trick in this section. The worst one is when he goes for a fish brain. He tries to grab it for the majority of the rail, grabs it, and then lets go again. I think he tries to grab it like twice. And it's like, dude, either do it freestyle or don't do both.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Um,
I hate to say
yeah.
it, Tony skated better on Razors.
Mhm.
Tony's section that he put out for Razors is far better than anything he's put out for Blank.
Yeah, yeah. I
So,
haven't been following him that closely, but
I
I
mean,
do
I'm an
remember
absolute
the
nerd and I follow all this stuff, but like, yeah, the stuff he's put out for Blank has not been that great.
mm. Um, speaking of, 'cause, we've been talking about Sean Keane and sort of, not being as active on social as maybe he could be. Um, and But just to sort of talk about maybe RB/blank a little bit more specifically, over on Tom's, video on Instagram he made, Mary commented, "As far as I know, the Spanish RB team also got canceled, wondering what's going on," and she apologizes to Adri Roller. So, I mean, obviously, we know, like, there was a resurgence in 2020, COVID bladers, back to bladers, all that stuff, and there was a lot of money to be made, or at least more money to be made,
Yep.
in rollerblading. But, I mean, what do you think about this comment here?
Yeah, I saw someone else saying that an American skater had been dropped, but is it Ariel Saroon? I think someone else said that he wasn't riding the
Oh,
skates
yeah, I saw
anymore. I
that.
don't know if he got dropped or if he just stopped riding them, but he'd
Right.
been with them for years and years as well, like well over a decade. If that is the case, it makes sense. I mean, I speak to people who own shops and they're struggling. They're like, we're not getting product out the door. Um,
Mhm.
you know, you've got you've got a bunch of brands sitting on stock. If you look at, I'll sometimes just check and see what sizes are available on some websites for like pretty popular skates. And when you see there's a lot of sizes available, you're like, oh, that's probably not a great sign.
Yeah.
Especially for like really basic models, like like a, the base model, like say for example, like a black SL. If there's a lot of sizes left in a black SL, that's that's kind of saying something because razors are still a very popular brand. You still see a lot of people skating them.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
So um, it's
And
yeah.
I Mike was saying Mike and I were talking all about a lot of this last night. How he did the same thing, where he went around and just poked around to see how many sizes were available at which inertia right down the road. Hell yeah. But like Skate Pro maybe. I don't know. What do you think would be like the good one? Any of them, yeah. But just to see like what's in stock. What am I doing? How do I even? Oh, items sold out. Well, that doesn't really support that one. So that's over at Skate Pro. um, but yeah, Mike was saying the same thing where he was poking around at different websites and almost every size or especially like the popular sizes were available. So, um, and I pulled up this too. I mean, this is no surprise. It shouldn't come as any surprise, but this is just like Google Trends search history over time since 2004 for this one's for inline skating worldwide, 2004 to present.
When did what's the peak year? See with that the highest point in the chart. What year is that? Hmm,
04, May 04.
See, I've looked at this before and I'm like, can you trust this? Because as
Yeah,
soon as COVID hit,
yeah,
everyone get into rollerblading again, and that's not indicated anywhere in this.
yeah. It's weird because I actually had other charts pulled up, but I had to switch browsers because YouTube was being weird. Aggressive inline skating. There was, yeah, so like right here, April 2020.
Oh,
So
maybe then.
aggressive
Yeah,
inline
actually, maybe.
skating.
Yeah.
It's
Because that
weird.
that
But yeah,
little of a jump is what would make the world of difference to us. Like that is
right,
it doesn't look like a lot there, but it's a lot to us. If sales are tripling, then that's yeah.
right. As a percentage, I mean, just from here to here is
Yeah,
crazy.
that's what I
That's
mean. Like if it goes
yeah,
from
absolutely.
nothing to, then that's yeah.
Yeah, super interesting. You can see the seasonality with it and everything. It's always kind of interesting to look at this, but I think you're absolutely right. Take it with a grain of salt. This isn't the end all be all of data points here for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no secret that you know, at least from '04, you can see the trend here. Obviously, like we talked about the spike in COVID back to blader action here, but doesn't look real good as of current day. At least this is again, if you're just wondering, this is Google Trends. You can go here, trends.google.com, and you can type in any search term and gauge amount of interest over time.
Yeah. Although my perspective of it is also skewed because I only attend like one or two events a year. And when you go to the event's mobbed and everyone's so enthusiastic and optimistic and loving life, and you're like, God, rollerblading's doing great right now. And then you speak to people
Right.
that actually own brands and they're like, no, we're not making any money.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And it's like if you went to Winter Clash, you'd be like, "Oh my God, rollerblading is back. We're alive and well. This is hype." But yeah, it's tough. So,
That's what
but
I mean.
yeah,
Like, I
I
think like
mean,
going there. I think if I didn't go there every February, it might like not inspire me to keep going every year
right,
in terms of
right,
like
right.
making stuff or like spending all this endless amount of my free time like creating I don't know, content or whatever. Because I'd be like, well, what's the point? Like no one really cares, no one's that interested. But I think you go to Winter
Right.
Clash and you get so hyped that momentum carries you for like quite a while, and then summer hits,
Mhm.
and then obviously you're like summer rollerblading all the time, and then yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and you, I apologize, but I mean, you've skated the blanks, yeah?
I am briefly. I was
So you
so
have.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was so excited
Yeah.
about them. Bought a pair because they looked like Dirks, and Dirks were one of like my
Yeah.
favorite skates when I was a teenager. I think it was like this. It was like maybe the third pair of skates I ever got, and really liked them. I was like, God, they look just like Dirks. Got them, and because I'd paid for them as well, you've got this like emotional, financial attachment to them because you're like, these need. I want these to work. I've just spent
Oh,
however
yeah.
much it was, like £200. And then I
Yep.
rolled around and I was like, "Oh god, I hate these." I was like, "They feel
Oh, we
so
talked about
slow." Everywhere, even rolling along flat ground, you felt like you were rolling uphill. I was like,
right.
why
Okay.
have these got negative energy transfer?" And then I started thinking, I was like, "God, well, Sean Keane's tiny, so he probably weighs like, 50 grams, so it doesn't really matter." But then I was like, Cameron Talbot's round about my size, and he's not a skinny dude. Like, he's quite like athletic built. And I was like,
Mhm.
how is he generating so much speed in these? And I was like, maybe I'm losing my mind. I gave them to a friend to try. I watched them try them, and he just rolled along the ground, and he rolled to a stop, and he went, "These are awful." And I was like,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
So I didn't
Oh.
even. I bought them to film a review. Couldn't
Mhm.
film enough footage to do a review. That's how
Wow.
much I disliked them. Also, you
Yeah, that's
can't
tough.
take out the heel pad.
Oh, yeah, that's a weird one. That's a
The
weird
heel
one.
pad's built in, and it's such a customized shaped pocket in the plastic
Ye
that if you take it out, you've just got a heel sitting on this really sharp
cavernous.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes no. So I was like, but now I'm thinking, do they get through that by putting a separate, harder heel pad on top of it, which cancels it out because you're not actually leaning into it? But I just couldn't. I couldn't face. Yeah, I hate heel pads anyway.
Yeah.
But the idea of stacking them on top of each other, um,
Yeah, I
yeah.
remember you telling Stefan that on the interview the other day. Yeah.
Oh god,
Um,
it upsets me so much. Like I've just got a new pair of skates and just discovered that they've got two heel pads built just
mhm.
in them, just like as standard. And I'm like, brands have started putting two heel pads in just from like the get go. I'm like, what?
Right.
So it feels
Yeah.
like your foot feels so high in the skate, and it feels like your like ankle bone is touching the top of the cuff, and you're like, I want to feel inside the skate as much. Like, I want to be as low in the skate as possible. I don't want to be as high in it.
Right.
Like being high
Right.
feels like ankle break territory. I don't understand that mindset, and I'm not jumping off roofs, so I don't really care about the heel protection.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, Dave, if you look at on your interface, you can see like it says like chat or messages or something, and you can toggle it to public messages so you can see chat.
Comments. I can see
Yeah,
comments.
private. Maybe that's what it is.
It says private chat or comments.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh. So when I first generated this stream, I made it private just to make sure I had the time differences right because it's all jacked up. Um, and I made it public, obviously. And StreamYard is just like, no, you originally made it private. So I have chat pulled up on the side. Unfortunately, in chat, I can't highlight comments on screen. I'm trying to it's
Ah,
real
right. Okay.
jank right now, so that's on me. I don't even know why I told you to look at the comments on StreamYard when I can't even see comments on StreamYard. That's my bad.
Also,
Um,
this section is unreal. Alex, I'm really, really like Alex Sam skating, and this aspect of it is kind of making me nervous because there's people who are starting to get opportunities, like Alex, who I know wanted to be on Roses for quite a while and never got anywhere.
mhm,
And now he's on Blank, and it's like, oh, you're getting on just as things are crumbling. Like that,
mm,
it just feels like really crappy luck. Like I always feel kind of bad when stuff like that happens. Like someone gets picked up by a brand, and then the brand just stops.
yeah, worst. I mean, worst timing or whatever. Just, but the cliche, everything happens for a reason, right? Um, it's interesting because what did we what there was I mean, it seems like because when I was at the Carriers Open, I don't even know how long ago that was at this point, but I was at the Carriers Open and I remember talking with a certain someone that's a very credible source, and they were saying that like basically the whole AM team, and maybe that was all kind of a blur, so maybe I'm just regurgitating stuff everyone already knows. But like the whole AM team, flow team, at least at the time, it had like just dropped that like most, if not all of them, were just kind of going away, being
Okay.
dissolved more or less. Which is kind of strange because who are we got? Well, Sean was, and then Cam is Sven. So who's actually pros for Rollerblade? Do you
So
know?
the Cameron told me about this on the podcast. They've got two separate
Oh,
like groups. So there's European pro and sponsored, and then there's American, and there's no like intermingling between the two. Like they don't really have anything to do with each other. It's like very separate
hmm,
entities. European pro is Sven Bokhorst and Maxime Junod.
okay.
Weirdly, again, Maxime Junod got announced as pro for uh blank rollerblade, whatever you want to call it. I think it was like a year or two ago, and since then has not released anything.
Mm,
he puts out
strange.
the odd Instagram clip. I know he's really big on the fees circuit. He competes at that,
Mm,
but like in terms of putting out parts and social media presence, nope.
yeah, and that's such a like a critical part of at least my impression is like that's how you generate sales nowadays. Is like it is not traditional advertising as much as it used to be. It is social media, getting your product in front of people in an enticing way. Um,
Yeah, someone actually mentioned this. I'm in this like private chat thing on Slack that I think Lawrence Ingram started, and someone said, "Oh God, like I think they mentioned Cameron Talbot, and they were like, he doesn't have good social media presence." And I was like, "Yes, he does. Like he puts up clips regularly, and they're good stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, but it's not targeting like the younger generation." And I was like, "I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the younger generation don't rollerblade. Like rollerbladers are between 25 and 35." And I was like,
yeah.
"Also, I'm 40." And then they started listing other examples like Bobby Spazov and Ilya Savison. And I was like, "Oh yeah, they're absolutely killing the social media game." And I love seeing Bobby's stuff. But every time Ilya drops something, I just get annoyed. I like as a 40-year-old man with a child and just watching everything be a gimmick just really just gets on my nerves. I don't want to see you rollerblading with keyboards stuck to your feet. Like I get it, it's pulling in views, but it's just annoying to look at. Like
Yeah.
you're a really good skater. You don't need to do this all the time. And it just feels like everything he comes up. And I get that might be his personality and he might just be like a goofy immature kid. But when you see him like skating around, like dry humping the air and stuff like that, I'm just like, no, I don't want to watch
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. I to be honest, I share your sentiment. I do. I think he's like, "Hey man, you're a really good skater." I appreciate the occasional like, "Hey, let's try to go hyper viral and make something that appeals to people who don't know shit about rollerblading." Like, "Okay, cool. Here's Deadpool and Wolverine like having a chase off." Like I like personally, I was actually like, "Okay, this is cool. This actually has a little bit of like almost like a storyline if you want to call it that." But like the random putting knives on your skates or putting keyboard, like I appreciate the effort, but it doesn't appeal to me, and it sounds like not you is either.
I think it's very much
But
like it's very much showing your age when you're like, no, this stuff just kind of grates on my nerves. Like
yeah,
I'm sure if I was like 16 or 17, I'd be like, oh God, this guy's a legend. But
yeah, yeah,
just watching like a stupid little kid do this stuff, I'm like, no, no.
yeah,
Like if
yeah,
if his local was my local skate park, I would avoid him like the plague. Like,
yeah.
do I go street
Like
skating?
I
Nope.
yeah, yeah. I appreciate the effort that goes into what he does. It's not my cup of tea, but he gets a lot of his stuff gets a lot of views and
Oh no,
whatever.
to be clear, like he's great at what he does. He's
Yeah.
phenomenal at it. If
Yeah,
his
yeah.
job is to get as many eyes on rollerblading and him and generate revenue, he's doing a fantastic job. I just don't want to watch it.
Oh yeah, no, same. Yeah. Like I'm happy he's making it, but it doesn't really like the super random stuff doesn't appeal to me personally. But hey, knock yourself out, Ilya. Keep doing your thing. Um, okay, so back to a little bit of like rollerblade here. So, um, So back to Sean. So Sean put this out. I think this was I didn't actually know that this was posted until it got reposted, and I asked the reposter to see it. Um, so this was Sean Keane. I think 2 days ago. We'll call it maybe three. Made this post earlier. Then not even an hour after I get fired from Rollerblade BLANK Rolling Products. So much for 14 years of dedication to a brand. That is an interesting point. It's like because so he was with the company for 14 years, yeah. Like, what do you think about tenure versus like, how important is tenure in a company
I think
in
this
rollerblading?
yeah, I think it was an intentionally inflammatory post to
Yeah,
generate backing. And I get it. He probably got the email from Tom. Tom's a big fan of emails and letters rather than actually phoning people,
yeah,
because he sacked J-Ba over a letter that he slid under his front door rather than knocking on his front door, even though they live in the same place at the time. I get why
that
he's
was Tom. You
angry.
said that was Tom?
Yeah, yeah. He sacked
Yeah.
Julian after Julian's whole argument in the hotel lobby thing with Coco Sanchez. Um,
Yeah.
and Julian said he basically just slipped a note under his front door of his house, and it's like how they'd known each other for so long. Like, dude, just chap on his door and tell him to his face.
Yeah, that's
Um,
strange.
with this, I get it. It's like a knee-jerk reaction. I think the thing is his post didn't really make sense either, because it made it almost sound like the post had some kind of connection to him getting fired and confused a lot of people. I don't think this was really that thought out. Let's put it this way. See if you're on a football team, or if you're American soccer. If you're on a soccer team and you're like 35, 40, and guys that are like 20, 25 are running rings around you, well, unfortunately, you don't make the team anymore. And it's like, oh, but he's a legendary player. Think about all the goals he's scored in the past. Well, unfortunately, legendary doesn't get you very far. And if you're no longer scoring goals, you bear no relevance on this team. Sean has put out fantastic sections in the past, but the sections have dried up. He's not putting
Mhm.
out sections anymore. And he's also very rarely interacting with social media.
Yeah,
So what? They just keep paying him for nothing.
no, yeah.
Like, I
And you
get
made
it.
it, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Like in the
yeah,
90s, where if you're above 25, your career was over, and they were sacking people left, right, and center. It pissed me off, something rotten. I was like, I love these guys. Like, these are my favorite skaters. Why are they not? They're not even that old. They're in their 20s. Like, they're still skating. Why are they getting dropped for 16, 17-year-old kids? But that's not the same thing. In the 90s, those guys were still skating. They were just losing opportunities. He's still skating. Sean is he's come back from an injury, but the fact remains, if if they take him into an office and be like, Sean, why should we keep you on the brand? What have you done for us lately? What have you done in the last 2 years? Well, his list is going to be pretty short.
hmm hmm yeah.
So, and it's
Do you
not
think?
like
I mean, it's because I think it was Daniel that mentioned it in the comments. Again, sorry guys, I can't highlight comments right now. Fucking streamer, it's being weird. But Daniel was saying, it's like, hey, this is big corporate, Technica, Rollerblade, whatever. It's like, hey, it seems. I think I think Sean Keane even mentioned it, where it's like, hey, more or less, it almost seemed like he got blindsided. So, I mean, what do you think about? It sounds like they may not have given him an opportunity to course correct.
I think that's an important element of this that's not been. See, that's what kind of annoys me. Like, you get these skaters who put up these posts on social media to basically invite sympathy without actually giving people the whole story. Like, he's
hmm
not mentioned how he was dropped.
Yeah.
Like, for all we know, Tom phoned him up and said, "Man, things are really rough right now, having a tough time. Like this." He's like, basically, we've just been given this new budget. We can't afford to keep everyone on. You're the one doing the least. I'm really sorry. Like for all we know, Tom phoned him up and got really upset. We have no idea what happened. Or for all we know, Tom sent him a 1-sentence email that went, "You're done."
Yep.
We don't
Yeah.
know, and that's what annoys me. But it's like, because people go, "Oh God, like, F Rollerblade, F blank, did it, F Tom Heiser, cancel all of them." And it's like, I'm not trying to be funny, but the skater's not giving you the information you need to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm very much not taking sides in this. And if I was to take a side, it would be Rollerblades, because there's a lot of hungry people out there not getting opportunities. He's on the team, he's got a pro skate, and there's not much happening on his side.
Yeah, that's definitely like at least according to a lot of the comments here, that's definitely the unpopular opinion. But I appreciate, that
That's
you're
mine is the unpopular opinion.
I think so, because if you
Yeah.
look at, if you just look at the comments,
Oh
but
no, yeah,
you know,
I get that, but that's knee-jerk reaction based
that's what I'm
on
saying. That's what I'm saying.
the release. I imagine if people saw, if he posted the second story first, people would be like, "Oh, yeah," because Sean even admits it himself. He's like, I'm not that good at being the pro skater guy. He's like, I don't
Right.
promote the brand that much. I don't promote myself that much. I'm not that active on social media. He basically outlines the reasons,
Yeah, he does right
and
here.
he
And
admits
I'll
to
just
it.
read it. He does, and I'll just read it super quick, just that portion, just for our audio listeners, because I know some people just listen to audio. Let's see. I'll just read this first part. Budget cuts and not posting on here enough are the reasons I'm no longer on RB/blank. Really sucks, but I get it. Blew out my knee last summer and was just recovering too slowly. Also, never been the most pro type skater out there doing contests or dropping consistent video parts. Caught me by surprise, but I do understand why I was the one on RB that needed to go. So this is
Like,
interesting, because this does seem
he
to
admits to
contrast a little
himself.
bit with
They've
right.
they've
He
got
does say it
quite
himself.
clear contracts. I know, I've seen these contracts. The contracts are like, you
Yeah.
need to fulfill social media obligations. You need to do this.
Right.
You need
Right.
like, he's not doing it. Also, you've got Josiah Blee, right? Perfect example. Josiah Blee is desperate to get on the USD Pro team. Like,
Yeah.
he's flat out asked, right? And he's not even getting a look in. They're sending him free skates. He's basically been told it's never going to happen. Josiah
Mhm.
Blee has put out 3 fantastic parts in the last 12 months, right? Josiah Blee
Yep.
cannot
Oh
get
yeah.
on
Killing it.
he can't even get on a team, and he's put out
Yeah,
3
which is
fantastic parts.
yeah, criminal.
And then you've got
I mean, it's
Sean.
criminal.
Sean hasn't put out anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's tough because like he's been injured on and off.
And
Um,
I feel that, I think that sucks, and that is outside his control. And I'm not
yeah,
holding that against him, but it doesn't change the facts. The facts are, he's not producing anything.
sure.
It's like when Billy O'Neill even said it himself, like he couldn't believe he never got dropped off USD when he couldn't skate for a year. He was
Wow.
like, it was
Yeah.
great of them to keep paying me for a year
Mhm.
after he get hit by a car. Yeah,
Right.
that is like, that's not a good business decision.
Yeah. Well, speaking of business decisions, I've seen quite a few comments about Rollerblade dropping Broskow, dropping Frankie, back when that all happened. Um, and that, maybe they're making a mistake here. I mean, what are your thoughts about how they handled that in the past,
The
more or
two
less?
the two things are completely different.
Yeah.
I don't. I love how people love to bring up historical stuff, and that's fine. Like, I will do it for the sake of a joke, but I don't mean it seriously. Like,
Yeah.
they're not the same. When Rollerblade dropped their whole team, is because they had a phenomenally huge team. Like, you used to see the adverts in Daily Bread. There was like 20 people on the team.
Mhm.
That is
Yeah.
a huge money drain. And then the arse falls out the industry. Funnily enough, you can't support a team that big.
Right. Right. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense, especially from
That's not.
a
That, that's like going, oh, USD screwed over someone 20 years ago. Oh, someone just got dropped. Oh, it's totally like that time USD screwed someone over 20 years ago, and you're like, is it?
you know. So something else Mike and I were talking about too is that um the blank. So I mean, there's a lot of factors, right? Nothing occurs in a vacuum here. So macroeconomic events, inflation, this and that, and whatever, right? Like, there's overall, I think, just sort of anecdotally, we've both seen or heard or talked to reliable sources that say, hey, like we're not seeing as many sales as we used to in boot sales. Um, whether that be the last 3, 5 years, whatever it's been, 2, 3, 4 years. So there's that. Got it. But the blank itself, so it's been, call it almost 3 years, call it 2.5-ish years since the blank got released, at least the beta. They've come out with 2 models. It doesn't seem like they're selling in overwhelming quantities. I mean, we don't have hard numbers. I don't know if you do, but I don't. So I mean, what do you think? They've released 2 models in, call it, almost 3 years. What do you think that indicates? Anything?
We don't we don't need hard numbers. It's obvious. Like they're
Yeah.
not. Like if they were, they would keep producing. If they were selling out of runs, they would have new runs. That's just
Mhm.
like it's, but then you compare it to things like Mesmer, who people can say,
Mhm.
oh, you compare Blank to Mesmer. Mesmer have had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 skates at this point. I was like, yeah, but Mesmer are dealing in much smaller amounts. Mesmer aren't producing the amounts that Blank are producing. I imagine they're making these on a relatively large scale for aggressive rollerblading terms. And when they're not getting rid of them, well, it doesn't take long for a model to become old news. And Blank never really had that much hype. People were excited when it was first announced,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like one of these ones that people started skating it and everyone was like, "Oh, this is the skate. This is it. This is the
Yeah.
holy grail." Like people started skating it and I was like, "Meh."
Yeah. I enjoyed them. But I know there's some people that absolutely love them, diehards, and there's going to be that for every skate. The shadow heads out there, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, it doesn't seem like overwhelming demand. And so again, I keep referencing Mike because we had a long conversation last night. But going back, maybe what do you think about maybe just canning the whole blank, dissolving blank, going back to just pumping out downtown 92s, 92nd edition, and going back to something that maybe is more profitable or mass market or whatever you want to call
I
it?
don't think those were profitable either. One of my really good friends
No?
has only ever skated rollerblade from the TRS right up to now. So I'm sure he'll be absolutely devastated if he thinks they're going to become discontinued. But rollerblade hasn't been relevant in the aggressive market in decades. In decades. Like it's not. Like when was the last time the blank got a little bit, it got a little bubble of pop like excitement until it came
I
out
almost
and then
want to.
people just quickly got over it. When was the last rollerblade skate that came out and people went, whoa, hold up, that's fantastic. Like no. Like
Tarmac.
it's been the 90s. Actually,
Yeah.
that's not true. The last one was the TRS Alpha. The TRS Alpha came about, and everyone started ripping off Frankie Morales and having skates with big flaps flickering in the wind and wearing their sweatpants with their ass hanging out, looking like a bunch of dumbasses. Like, like that era of rollerblading, which I despised, by the way. I've never skated in a pair of sweatpants, and I never will skate in a pair of sweatpants because you look homeless. Um, like you in sweatpants. I know you skate in sweat. You probably do. Um,
I used to. I used to be the exact thing that you hate.
I've seen your
I
old edit.
literally had,
I've
yeah,
seen you tap
TRS
dancing on all those
alphas.
handicap rails. I've seen you.
Yeah, I've been there. I was that
Like
guy.
you're the stereotypical 2001 Razors rollerblader.
That's literally when I started. Oh
I
one
know. I could tell.
first, yeah, first real pair. I had K2 250, second pair, second what I can. I mean, second pair was the TRS details, And that's when I unflapped them. They were flickering in the wind, sweatpants down to my kneecaps.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on. We'll move on, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull up search interest for rollerblade blanks.
The masculine era of rollerblading where all the teenage boys had their bums hanging out. Yeah, it was very masculine, very heterosexual.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Butts
Yeah.
everywhere, Dave. I'm gonna type in rollerblade. What should I type in? Blank SK? What should I type in for search terms? Just to see.
Oh,
Blank.
surely you do want to type in rollerblade, surely blank SK, yeah.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Or
All right,
blank.
United States. Let's go worldwide. Past you want to do
Not enough
past
data.
5? Oh yeah. Oh, all categories web search.
Sorry, what is the number
Yeah.
though? What is the number?
5 years? Are you talking about like
No,
the
what's the
scale here?
spike? 100 what?
That's the thing is this is weird, is that I didn't understand this, is that, like, this is, like, some running relative scale. This isn't like, "Oh, 100 people searched for it on this day." This is just relative to, like, the average. I can't even remember. Someone in chat help me out. But this just shows you the general search interest over time out of 100%. So this was the max that it ever achieved. Does that make sense?
So there's nowhere anywhere where it actually gives anywhere down where you scroll down, it actually gives those numbers in real terms, like 15,000 people search this.
No. Not that I
Well,
could find. Someone help me on chat, but no, I was blown away by that because I was like, "Oh shit, this is amazing! We can see exactly how many people are searching for a certain shit." But it's not. It's just relative. It gives you the maxed. This was
oh
so
wait
the
a minute. There's
max.
got to be there's got to be a unit though. You've got to be able to change it to a unit, surely. A unit of measurement? No, no,
No,
anywhere
I
that
don't
no.
think
Oh.
so.
Um, yeah,
Because
like
I've looked into this. Anyway, whatever. So that was just for the lulz, but I don't think we can glean any real information from that necessarily. But so you know, because the downtowns, like, dude, the downtowns and the whatevers, you don't think that those were profitable because it seemed like that was like the mass market. It seemed like those just were everywhere. I don't know how much they cost. I was a little bit out of the game at that point, but
maybe they were outside of the downtowns. I can't even remember. I remember the Alpha series was popular, but its
yeah,
popularity was like a few years, and then people were like, "Oh, we're over this. We're over." Like it was very much a trend.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. 'Cause nowadays, if you get on eBay, maybe weird question. Do you use eBay over there
yeah,
in Scotland?
eBay's very big in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone. I was like, "Oh yeah, I bought it off eBay," and they're like, "What the fuck is eBay?" And I was like, "Oh my bad."
Certain countries just don't use it. Australia, for example, doesn't even have eBay, or it
Really?
didn't
Yeah,
until
yeah, yeah.
recently. Because I remember one of my
Let me
friends
look
was
this up.
like, we just don't use that."
What a good looking skate, man. What do you
Uh,
think?
uh-huh.
10 out of
Like
10, yeah.
like I said, my friend probably even had those, but he had a very similar model and swears by them. And yeah, no, no, no.
Troller Blattering says downtowns and that era were available at big box stores. Yeah, because I think these were available at like actual sporting goods stores to the general public, more or less. You
That's
know what
what
I
I'm
mean?
saying. I think their sales were probably coming from outside of like the core
Oh yeah,
market.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so we were like, oh, these aren't that popular, but because they're appearing in, I don't know, Decathlon or whatever, like then
Right, right,
it's
right,
a
right.
different perspective. It's like when everyone so Echo skates are coming out, right? And Echo is obviously owned
Yep.
by is it Anarchy Skates, whatever? And people are like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they sucked. Like they weren't even popular. They didn't make any money. Anarchy Skates made a very good amount of money with their skate, just not in the core market. Like
Right.
the skate was
Right.
available in standard sport and good stores. It wasn't, and you could get it in regular skate shops as well. But the majority of their sales were coming from parents buying Christmas presents and birthday presents and stuff
Yep.
like that, not hardcore street skaters concerned about their image. Like
Right.
because
Where
funnily enough, that
where
doesn't
the
pay the
big money
bills.
is. Yeah.
Like
I
they
mean, that's the
know,
big money.
yeah, they know how to sell a skate and make money. They just weren't doing it to us.
Right. Right. I'm starting
So
to pull right now. Will blank be dissolved? We're gonna let the people in chat. If you're just joining us, we're chatting with Dave from Wheel Scene. You can check out his channel down in the description below if you don't already follow him, which you should. You do awesome interviews and awesome reviews, man. I really appreciate your hard work. Really do.
Thank you, Benjamin.
Just wanted to plug you up there a little bit.
With there's certain brands that, with all due respect, if they did go away, would we notice?
Like, yeah, like 5 people that are diehards or whatever maybe would,
Like,
but
if Trigger went away, would anyone notice?
oh no, no, yeah, no.
Blank. To a certain degree, there's other brands who, some riders that I love skate for, if they were no longer involved in the aggressive market, I'm not entirely sure it would have that much of an impact.
Hmm.
Maybe on contests, like major contests like Winter Clash and stuff like that, that rely on their advertising money. But in terms of what they actually do for the sport and what they contribute to it, and as a culture, as an industry, I'm like, I'm struggling to see the losses.
Well, I mean, what do you think? This is just maybe devil's advocate or whatever. It's like, let's say a skater, let's just say a pro skater, um, doesn't really want to be active on social media, doesn't really vibe with social, doesn't want to put themselves out there, but they're a fantastic ambassador everywhere they go, in person, at skate parks, like the Dre Powell. I mean, you know, Dre Powell, like I've been told so many times, I've never really met him in person, but I've been told like he was the guy at skate parks. Like he would talk to all the young kids, and talk to everybody, and he was
Yeah.
just universally loved. And so he was a fantastic ambassador in person, but not necessarily. Social media didn't even really, more or less exist for what.
Yeah, that was kind of pre his time. I've witnessed Dre at his finest a few times,
Yeah.
and he was a man of the people. He would go out into the car park. He would have rap battles with like the kids. He would like basically
Yeah. Yeah.
like take a photo with every single person. He would remember people as well. Like
Hmm.
he came to a skate
Big
contest
deal.
like several years apart in Scotland, and he literally, a kid was like, "Do you remember me?" And he went, and Dre like literally recanted a story, and the kid was blown away. And I'm like, that's wild,
Whoa.
because
That is wild.
how many people were you meeting on tour at this point? And I was like, you are, no wonder people love you. Like that is excellent. That is an excellent people skill to have.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I've lost count of the amount of times I've seen Dre having rap battles with just like random, fans in the car park
Yeah,
outside
I
of
mean,
skate
that's a
park.
memory. If you're a fan, like that is something you will never forget.
Yeah,
Remember that time Dre Powell and John were having a rap battle in the parking lot after RFC,
yeah.
whatever it was? Yeah. So that just builds your brand. But um, I don't know. So it's like basically, if you want to be curious what you think. Hey, my name's Ben. I want to be a pro skater. I want to skate really good. I don't want to do contests, and I don't really want to put out a lot of media, but I'm a really great skater and I'm a really great guy. What do you tell me, Mister Rollerblade Technica Group?
We 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 don't have we don't have to use a hypothetical example. We can use a very real life example. One of my favorite skaters of the past 10 years, not even the past 10 years, Cody Lampman. Cody Lampman is a fantastic skater.
Oh yeah,
But he never
oh yeah.
puts out sections. He puts out a section every 2 or 3 years, and see when he does, I lose my shit. I'm like,
Yep,
this is my guy.
yep.
He put out Phantom, loved it. Put out Ashes, loved it. I've watched each of those at least 50 times each. Like
Mhm,
just enjoyed his vision. But I get why brands won't sponsor him.
mhm.
Like he's not even on Instagram now. He turned it off like just before, I think it was like just before Winter Clash. He doesn't
Oh
want
wow.
to do the social media thing. He doesn't really like that much attention on him. He's quite a shy guy. He's lovely, personable, really friendly,
Yeah,
got a great sense of humor, but he's very shy. And it's
yeah.
like he doesn't want to be Bobby Spaz. Bobby Spazov loves having eyes on him. Bobby Spazov loves having people talking shit about him, running their mouth, slagging him off. Bobby feeds off it. Cody just
Yeah.
wants to be left alone. but he also happens to be a fantastic skater who is a joy to watch. Well,
Absolutely.
you can be a joy to watch, and I will always treasure your parts. But if I had a brand and I had a skate brand that's got a lot of financial risk involved, I wouldn't be relying on you to promote it.
Yeah. I mean, that's
So
the whole point of a skate team, is it not? Is to display the product and its use case in the best light, more or less, to sell more units, is it not?
yeah, especially when you've got, like, let's put it this way: you've got Cody Lampman going up against Bobby Spazov. I'm willing to bet there's a lot of people out there who prefer Cody Lampman's skating to Bobby Spazov's.
Mhm.
But Bobby is excellent at playing the game.
Yeah.
Excellent. He knows how to work social media. He knows how to create viral clips. He knows how to piss people off. And if you're pissing people off, they're talking about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he
All
has a
press is
habit
good
of
press or whatever.
designing skates that just enrages people. And,
Yeah.
and that works. That also works, because see all these
Yeah.
people. You get Tom going on his news show and going, "No one's going to buy this." I've seen plenty of people skating those skates. Plenty.
Yeah. You talking about the dogmas or the purple, the
Any of
lavender
them. Any of
looking,
them. Any of the
both of
ones
them? Yeah.
that people slag off and go, "Oh, that looks crap. Like, who came up with that idea? I can't believe Rosie's agreed to it." I'll go down the local skate park. Someone's wearing them.
Yeah. I have seen
So
more in person than I thought I was going to. I'll say that.
So people are buying them. Yes, they're not popular, they're not trendy, they're not cool. People aren't bragging about, but like, I've literally been at a skate park and a guy who's probably never even rollerbladed before has shown up to the skate park wearing those skates because he's seen something from Bobby.
Yeah.
Or there's something about that that's caught his eye, because even if you think it's unattractive, it's quite garish, and there's something about that that just like sticks in the mind. And
Right.
Richie
Right.
Eisler
Right.
had that idea as well. Everyone slagged Richie off for bringing out those silver skates. Richie brought them out
Mhm.
because he wanted people to talk about them. He didn't care if it was negative or positive. He brought it out because he was like, I want someone to walk into a skate shop and that's the first thing they notice.
Yep.
I want them to
Ooh.
look at the wall and go, what the hell is that shiny silver skate? So
Yeah. I mean, it's again, like, all press is good press, whatever, bad press is good, whatever the hell they say. Like, the worst thing you can do is to be ignored or be invisible when it comes to this stuff. I mean, even like you said, Bobby's a master of it. It's like, hey, generating controversy, what some dichotomy, whatever it is. Um,
being divisive
so
is not necessarily a bad thing.
sure.
Every culture needs a villain. Bobby's happy to play the role of the villain. Go for it. Lean into it.
Yeah.
And he does.
Um, I am reaching out to someone right now to see if they want to come on. Are you down to make this a little bit more of a party here? I don't want to.
You mean
I don't,
Ben? Are you inviting me to a threesome?
yeah, I am. I was it's just funny because
I'm
that was
always
in the back of.
I'm always down for a threesome.
Yeah, we'll see what he says. I have my doubts because he's affiliated with Rollerblade, but we'll see what he says. I know he was in. This is a good chat. Anyway, um,
Also, I
Austin,
love I
check your
love how
DM.
people
Austin,
try to
check your
down.
DMs.
And I also love that another big criticism of Bobby is that he's only a part skater and he's not that good on street. Yet he's now had at least 10 street parts that would crap all over a lot of pro skaters' street parts, and he just keeps putting them out. But people are like, yeah, he's just a part skater. He's not even that good on street. And it's like, he does huge tricks on street, huge tricks. But
Oh,
you just want
that's a
to
fact.
downplay him because the majority of his Instagram footage is at concrete skate parks. Like, no, no, I'm sorry. The evidence suggests otherwise.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, he's good at just drawing up a stir, at
I
getting
love it.
people
I love it.
going.
And I love how much he angers people. Like, see, when you mention his name, people get like riled up. And I'm like,
Mhm.
and he's doing his job. He's work what he's aimed to achieve, he has achieved it. And you've inadvertently helped him, even though you don't like him. I love it. I love it. I've got a lot of time for Bobby. I really like him.
So almost 120 people here. Thank you all for being here. Give the stream a thumbs up. We're here with Dave from Wheel Scene. We're talking about Sean Keane getting let go. Yeah, I mean, kind of eye opening here because there's been a lot of confusion, etc. But just to sort of recap too, Sean Keane put out a story. I think this was yesterday, whatever it was. He says, he kind of talks about everything that happened. Budget cuts and not posting on here enough on IG are the reasons I'm no longer on RB/blank. I've never been the most pro type skater out there doing contests or dropping consistent video parts. I think that's maybe an important thing to talk about too, because if you're not going to drop video parts, I think contests. I don't know. Question for you: do you think contests could or would make up for a lack of video parts?
I don't care about contests, but an example in recent history: Mikhail Wietzman. Mikhail Wietzman was putting out video parts and they were all right. They were gaining a little bit of traction. Well, then he won Spring Cup, which, let's be honest, it wasn't a major contest, but it had a lot of eyes on it, it had a lot of popularity on it. Well, within a year of winning Spring Cup, he's getting a pro skate.
It's true.
So it's like there's something about building momentum, and I wouldn't even say that's a major competition win because it's not. It was essentially a P-rail and a box contest, as opposed to like winning a fees against like the best in the world, trying their absolute hardest. But the fact is, he had momentum. He won this contest. It built even more momentum. The brand's paying attention, and they're like, right, let's take a chance on this guy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the same time, you've got Ryan Parker, who got announced on the USD team at the same time. Well, Ryan Parker's team introduction got like 70,000 views.
On YouTube or on Instagram?
On YouTube, which is significantly more than any of Mikhail Wietzman's. What's the number now?
What's the number? Like 74. What was it? 74, 71,000. Yeah.
So
you're right on the money. 71,000. Yeah.
So people want to go, oh, it was during COVID. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Mikhail Wietzman's section also came out during COVID and did not get a fraction of those views. Mm-hmm. Now, people can go, oh, Ryan Parker, he just skates small stuff. Oh, he's just tech. He's just skating curbs. Well, first off, that's not true. He can do all the other stuff. This is just what he likes to skate. But the fact is, this clearly had massive rewatch value because that's not 70,000 individuals watching this section. That's people watching this section over and over again. And that's what brands want. They want something that people keep returning to. They want the Brosco effect. They want the, I'm going to watch this section 10, 20 times. They don't want,
I'm going to just get hyped up. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want, I'm going to watch this once, be impressed, and move on in my life and forget about it. They want, every time I go for a session, I'm going to watch this and get pumped and then go out.
Exactly.
And the fact, and he won King of Cleveland, but then he kind of drifted away. And I know he's working like a proper job and that's kept him busy. I also know he kind of had like, he wanted to put out stuff, but USD didn't want, like, I think he wanted to release like some like P-rail sections or something. And USD were like, no, we want street sections. And he was like, oh, well, that's not what I want to do. And they kind of clashed heads a wee bit on it. But the fact is, it's like the numbers he's doing suggests that, see, if he did play the game and go, all right, I'll do what you want, he could probably have his name on a skate as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say so. I could see a Ryan Parker pro sway all day long.
So it's a lot of rollerblading has to do with falling in line. Like in anything, falling in line, playing the game, doing what's asked of you. There's people who get multiple pro skates, and people are like, how's that happen? He's not even as good as my top 20 favorite skaters. Yeah, but you know what? See, when the brand asks him to do something, he does it. And more importantly, he has the initiative to reach out to the brand and do stuff like get involved and do it off his own back. Like, brands love that. Like, if you're making life easier for them.
Yeah.
Look at Eugen Ennen. Eugen Ennen's a fantastic skater, but he works the booth at Winter Clash. He goes and interns. He goes and interns at Powerslide in Germany. He like basically goes above and beyond. Oh, you want me to promote a free skate? I'll promote a free skate. Oh, you want me to skate like off roads, like down like a dirt hill? I'll do that.
He's like
grind
shoes.
He's like employee of the month every month.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And then like
No, it's true because I mean, you make a great point because I know I'm not the only one because we've all seen it. We're like, how is this guy not pro and that guy is? It just doesn't make sense. And it's like one thing to be a really good skater. It's another thing to be a really good team member of the team,
yeah.
moving products, generating sales, putting in extra work, whatever it is. So it's just an interesting, it's not all about, at least from my perspective, it doesn't appear to be all about doing the biggest tricks, doing the hardest tricks, being the doing the flashy stuff. It's about like, hey, how valuable are you to the company as a whole?
Yeah. And you see skaters, you see big name skaters going on social media and complaining about their lack of opportunities. They'll go on and go,
Mhm.
why am I not getting a skate? Why am I not getting bumped up to the pro team? Why is this guy? And like being, and you're like, because you don't get it. If you got
Mhm.
it and you like you don't, you've not got an understanding of how the industry works and you're not playing your position. If you did, you would have got there.
Yeah.
Like
And
there's
if
people
you're
who
wondering, oh, go
there's
ahead.
people who have reputations for being difficult and being combative and
Yeah.
like going on social media and running their mouth about brands and then going, why am I not getting any more opportunities? And it's like, because brands don't want to be next in line to feel your wrath.
Mhm.
Like, like, like they do something you don't agree with and you go on Instagram and just rip the shit out of them. Like, nah, funnily
Yeah.
enough, they don't
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, if you're wondering how we got on this topic, we're talking about Sean Keane getting let go. And in his own post, he mentions, "Hey, I've never been the most quote unquote pro type of skater." I keep referring back to this just to try to keep my own thoughts going. But I've also never been the most pro type skater out there doing contests or dropping consistent video parts. So Sean Keane was dropped from Blank just in the last couple days. So he does acknowledge, like, hey, I get it. I have not been the most pro type of skater, fitting the sort of mold, I guess, not doing contests or dropping consistent video parts. So props to him for sort of like owning that, I guess. And so there was a lot of drama, it seemed like, with some of these other, I don't want to say drama, but like you said, kind of inflammatory um comments here. But then this was, I believe, kind of a follow-up message, and he kind of seems to accept and take a little bit of ownership of what happened, is what it looks like to me.
Also, it's kind of funny that he says, I'm kind of bummed that I get brushed off with no prior notice. Do you honestly, I'm asking Ben, I'll turn it on you and ask you a question. Do you think if Blank turned around to him and went, right, we want to keep you on the team, but we're not happy about this agreement. You're going to have to become a lot more a lot more socially active on Instagram. We want to see you doing the odd Q&A with your followers, and we'd like you to drop a section a year. I don't
Mhm.
think that's too much. A section a year,
Yeah.
bit of social media interaction. Do you think Sean would actually do it?
Um, I don't know, because it seems like right here he's owning. He's like, "Hey, I am not the typical pro skater. I don't do contests. I don't do consistent video parts." So based on this, no, I don't think
Well, there you
I
go.
don't think it's likely.
Say they don't blindside him. Say they don't go, you're done. You're sacked. No more paycheck for you, buddy. Right? Say they go, hey man, we just want a video part a year and see if you could just do an Instagram Q&A like maybe a couple of times a year.
Yeah,
What'd you think?
yeah,
And he's like, nah, dude, I'm not comfortable doing that. Like, he'd be
yeah,
like, that's not my
yeah.
personality. I'm not that guy.
Right, I'm not that guy. I will play devil's advocate and say, if they didn't try, they should have at least almost just as like a CYA, like corporate. Hey, we are giving you clear feedback so that you don't come back and file a lawsuit for X, Y, and Z. You know, illegal firing or whatever the hell the term is. You know what I mean?
But bear in mind, him and Tom have known each other for a decade and a half.
Yeah.
It's
There's no
not
way they
like
can come
it's
up.
not like it's some random manager that doesn't know who he is. They've been on trips together.
Right.
They know what he's like. They'll be like, "Hey, man, do you want to go and be like the little social media tart from now on?" And like knowing fine well that's not him. He's not going to be that guy. So Tom,
Yeah.
that could be like the most pointless conversation of all time. Hey, Sean, I would like you to just smash out an Instagram reel, once a week. And he's like, Tom, what? Like, Tom, do you not know me at all?
Yeah. It's interesting because I don't know. Are there any correlations? Because Julian, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole with Julian too much, but like you said, the way he got let go from RB, we talked about that earlier. He got a note under his door. Yeah.
I would like to hope Tom hasn't repeated that. I would like to hope that Tom would be older and wiser than to do something so impersonal.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he did it in the first place when Tom was clearly in his 30s then, like, I'm like, dude, you're a fully grown man. Like, just chap someone's door and say, it's not working out. Like, you're causing us too much drama. We're not that brand. We're not the brand that likes controversy. Don't be getting into screaming matches in the hotel, like, receptions.
Right. Yeah. Like it should be clear. Like there should be no surprises about the conversation we're about to have here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, what do you think? What's going to happen to Blank, dude? What's going to happen to Blank? Your best guess.
I don't even know that I remotely care. I think I'm more interested in what's going to happen with Sean.
With Sean, yeah, no. And what do you think? I had a poll earlier. Damn it! I closed the poll down. Someone help me out in chat. What was the number one? I don't know if you saw the poll, Dave. I put them skates. I put power slide, but in parentheses, I put like Mesmer ? So them skates, power slide, i.e. Mesmer, them skates or other. List in chat. And you look like you disagree with those options. What do you think?
Do you not know your rollerblading history, Ben?
No, I don't.
You
Dave,
put them skates. Sean Keane on them skates.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Mike and I even schooled me on that. It's funny because them skates was a big answer. A lot of people voted for them.
Well,
yeah,
a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. You honestly think I don't even see Sean Keane buying a pair of them skates off his own back.
Yeah. So that's my bad. That's embarrassing. I'm glad you're here to set me straight. My best understanding, Mike told me, I didn't even know this, bro, because I was out of the game, but Mike told me literally last night / this morning that, the what was it? Like, the farewell Valo was like a pretty bad.
I saw so many people comment and being like, hope he gets on them skates. He's going to get a them pro skate. And it's like, dude, he got sacked from Valo.
Okay. Yeah. Just give us the lore dump in like 2 minutes. Can you?
It's one of these things. It's one of these things where they've never openly spoken about it. He was just him and Mike Martino were both on Valo around that time. He was like the young up and coming Am. They even asked him about it on his Jump Street podcast, and he was so incredibly vague about it that he just didn't explain what happened. He just said they had different. He basically said like they kind of like had different ideas, but he not so subtly said that they got rid of him.
Gotcha.
So it's like if John's getting rid of you on one brand, he's not putting you on another. Also, even if you got on them, you're like rung 156. Like they've got a massive team with no distinction whatsoever. Like you want to talk about Rollerblade and Blank not having distinctions about who's in their pro team. Them don't even have a pro team.
Yeah.
Like they just sponsor people. Some people are on incentives. Some people are getting royalties. Some people are on salaries. There's like there's no clear structure to. I mean, they're probably John has a clear structure, but it's not public.
Right. It's all kind of behind, close to under the table, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. You're like, oh, these guys are on them, and then you actually speak to them, and they're like, oh, I actually bought half my skates. Like John sent me like, I don't know, 4 or 5 pairs over the last 5 years or whatever, and you're like, oh. Or people have like full street sections out on the Them Skates YouTube channel that don't get free skates. And you're like, They're not even on the team. It's just this aesthetic, or like no, we just want to support the brand. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and which, like, I'm gonna be honest, it's to me it seems, I don't know. It seems like more and more brands are going that way. It's like very hard. There's only like 2 or 3 companies that I can find like where they actually list their teams, pro or otherwise. And it seems like more of a trend now where it's like, hey, we're just kind of sort of be ambiguous with what the hell's going on and just let content go out. And I have to wonder why that is, because if I'm on the Them Skates Pro team, hey, let me add that to my resume. Let the world know, like, you're not doing me any favors by concealing it. Maybe you want to be ambiguous and mythical or and mysterious. I don't know.
All right. Well, let's put it this way. Pat Ritter was on the podcast, and Pat got his, what was it, 30 grand, whatever it was, for his pro skate. And he was like, oh, I got this money for my pro skate. I was like, cool. What does that mean? And he's like, well, I don't get a salary. He's like, so I'm doing good this year. And I was like, right, well, cool. You got your 30 grand, but then you need to go back to your day job. Also, think about it. Think about all the money Pat has spent going to America. There was points where he was going like 3 or 4 times a year. That's not cheap. 30 grand probably isn't even going to cover it. Alex Brosco, Alex Brascal, however you pronounce his second name, Brascal. I don't know. I've always called him Brosco. I'm going to find it difficult to say otherwise. Alex
Brosco? You're saying Brosco, yeah?
Well, you would say Brosco, right? Probably is Brosco. I'm probably saying it wrong, but I don't care.
I don't know. Let's get him on.
Alex has never had a pro skate from them, but do you honestly believe he's not on a salary? He is. Oh no, he has. That's not true. He had the blue. He had the blue one, powder, but it was on the lower royalties. He had the powder. That's right. But do you honestly think that Alex is not getting a monthly salary from them skates? Of course he is. He moved out to LA. You don't move out to LA if the brand aren't hooking you up. He's getting paid.
Right.
So
yeah, like, I mean, because to our knowledge, like Brosco, I'll say it your way.
Alex Brosco.
Alex Brosco isn't
a middle-aged woman from the West.
I mean, he doesn't have a day job. I don't know. Maybe he does. I haven't heard if he does.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a day job. I think, like,
yeah. Anyway,
he's out skating all the time.
Yeah. I guess I don't know if this is true or not. Again, this is like pure speculation. So if anyone knows, let me know. But I guess like corporate Rollerblade, whatever, Technica group, whatever. It's not just hey, like you're getting a salary, but you also are getting like health and dental to some degree. Have you heard this?
Oh, they're not.
They're not.
No way. Cameron Talbot's got a full-time job. Cameron Talbot has a full-time job. He works for a bike courier service.
Yeah.
He's like one of the he was telling me about it in the podcast. He used to be a bike messenger, and now he's like one of the guys that handles like logistics for a bike messenger service in the Bay Area. He says, he even said it himself. He's like, getting his monthly wage or whatever it is from Rollerblade is a nice top up. He's like, it's a top up. It's
yeah.
It's
like walking around money.
It's not something you live off. No way are the pro team getting health. No way.
I mean, is there a chance? Is it confirmed?
I am willing to bet. Right. See if Cameron Talbot sees this and goes online and goes, Dave, you're full of shit. I'm actually getting full health and dental. I will send Cameron Talbot $100.
Whoa! Hey, someone DM Cam right now. Someone DM Cam right now. Ask
if he's getting.
I don't have anything on the line.
If he's got full health insurance and dental.
Well, we didn't say full.
What did you say?
I just said health and dental. Could be partial. You know, could be. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what the deductible is.
Okay,
Dave?
He's not.
Yeah. Okay. I asked our audience.
I don't need to work at Rollerblade to know that. That's no.
Yeah. No. Okay, I asked our audience, will blank be dissolved? I didn't put a time frame on it. Obviously, everything will dissolve eventually. Some philosophy there. But 55% of our respondents, 85 votes. Thank you for voting. 85 people say that blank will be dissolved. And I wish I had put a time frame on that, but
It's not like they don't have history with it. I mean, think about how many times the aggressive team has come and gone. In fact, the only constant during that entire period was Sven Bokhorst, and that's because Sven went from being a pro skater to being in charge of marketing or sales or something. He basically he like moved about from being a pro skater to being an employee back to being a skater thing. Like Sven Bokhorst is the only one that's survived all these brand depressions, essentially.
mhm. I mean, here you go. I don't know, Dave. We'll see.
Healthcare is included. Starting to say, for their aggressive team, I feel like that would be a very poor business decision on Blank's part. If they're going, hey, if you get injured and break a leg, we'll sort that out for you. What? What? I don't buy it.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But hey, stuttering skater, thank you for your input. Maybe we'll get confirmation from Cam or whomever, Sean. Anyway, Dave, I think we've pretty well beat the horse. I know there's something probably sitting right by you that we might be able to show the world.
Oh shit!
Did you get
Are we
was
talking
before
about?
we do that? Before we do that though, was there anything else we need to cover? Any last closing points? Sean Keane getting let go from blank. We talked about how hasn't really been super active, and he's owned it. Hasn't been active in contests. Hasn't been super putting out consistent promotional sections or edits or whatever. And he does own kind of what happened in that long paragraph. Anything else we need to talk about before we sort of wrap that part of the stream up?
No, I do. I do just wish him the best, and hope he, has fully recovered. I would love to see another Sean Keane street part. His binary section was so good, but just like, the fact is, sometimes these things don't work out, and it's not anyone's fault. And I think that's the problem with stuff like this. People always look for blame. They're always like, "Oh well, the skater messed up. Let's all slag off the skater. It's his fault." Or in this situation, it's like, "Oh, the brand's evil. Let's go for the brand." And you're like, "Well, no. Sometimes agreements just don't work out. It's
Yeah.
fine. It doesn't have to be anyone at fault."
Yeah.
Like,
It's
I
true.
think there's this culture now of just, no, the blame has to lie with someone. Has to lie with, we need someone to hate over this. No, you don't. Like, just let it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Last question here though, because I sort of put my foot in my mouth with the them skates pull option. um, I mean, where two things: most likely and most desired by you, brand for him to go to.
Someone, so I was talking, another mutual, possibly a mutual friend of ours, said that he would quite like to see Sean start skating T-necks. And I was like, that would
Oh
be really
yeah.
cool
Oh,
because,
Lino said that in chat earlier. Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
so Duran Bickmore, very creative skater, likes to sponsor very
Mm.
creative skaters like my boy Michael. Um,
Yep.
And it's like, Sean Keane fits into that mold. Now the problem is Sean's going from a salaried pro position to where he would just be getting hooked up with skates at most, because that's all they're in a position to do. They're in a brand new brand. It's not making any money yet. But I think that would be a good fit. Like, Sean has got nice, interesting, weird, creative skating. T-neck is a nice, interesting, weird, creative brand. Now, if Sean starts
I think you
skating,
might be onto something.
if Sean starts skating USD or Razors or something like that, that would be the weirdest look ever. Like, no,
Yeah.
like I don't. Him being on another big brand would be the strangest aesthetic.
Yeah.
But
No, I think
him,
I think you make a good point.
him being, to be honest, this sounds bad. I don't see another team. I don't see another brand picking him up
Why is that?
for the reasons outlined earlier.
Mm. Yeah.
Like, what do they get in return? If a brand did pick him up, I would see it being like a kind of smaller venture, like something like T-Neck. It would be one of the along those kind of
Right.
lines. I don't see one of the big brands going, oh yeah, we'll take that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Huh.
what did they get?
Yeah. Not as Sean himself said, not consistent skate parts.
Like it makes more sense to pick up you than pick up Sean. You've got a social media presence, you've got a following, you're regularly putting out content, you've got your own channel that's growing all the time. It makes more sense to put you on a team than it does to put Sean Keane on.
Yeah. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I understand what you're saying.
Ben's like, yeah, it does. So if anyone's listening,
no. No, I understand the point you're trying to make, but there's no way I can agree with that statement.
Clark, he wants 5 more pairs. 5 more pairs, Clark. 5.
Okay, I think we beat the dead horse. I think we've covered it. All right. Yeah, I think that's it with that for that part. So, best wishes to Sean. I mentioned this. He and I talked in DM a little bit. But best of luck with future endeavors.
My head is looking so shiny and glorious in this camera.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I need to put my what is it? The Eclipse sunglasses.
Eclipse sunglasses from my forehead. my never ending forehead.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to talk about what you got there?
Do we want to talk about how suddenly I'm street, guys. I'm hip hop. I'm down with the kids. You ready for this?
Let's go.
Are you ready for this?
The official unveiling.
What's up, everybody? It's your friendly neighborhood rollerblader, David McNamara. I'm here to present the icon AG15 Montre Livingston, aka the Gemini. And that's
did you practice that?
I can maintain that level of enthusiasm because I'm not that guy. Yes, Powerslide very kindly sent me a pair of skates that is pretty much the polar opposite of all my tastes in everything. We're gonna try them out. We're gonna see how we go with this. This is the boldest move I've made on a pair of skates in a long time. I feel like teenage me would have been really into these. I was a big fan of rap, especially Tribe Called Quest and The Roots. And I feel like this has got a lot of Tribe Called Quest inspiration. Maybe it hasn't. Maybe I'm reading too much into that. But yeah, I'm interested. It's going to be a weird one. I'm torn. I'm torn on how I feel about these, but they've got some interesting ideas. They've got a massive sole plate. Is this off a USD 7 or some kind of old US clan?
I mean, I'm pretty sure. That's
Something
a
like
USD 7 sole plate.
I like that it's a traditional 90s USD pro skate approach. Like, so they've got like Icon, then they've got the Create Originals, then they've got the Win brand wheels. I like that aspect of it. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
The last time I skated anti-rocker. Sorry, American anti-rocker. Anti-rocker on my antis. With our aluminium. Oh no, you don't call it that in America, do you? You call it aluminum. We're going on the aluminum rails.
Alex Broscow.
With Alex Broscow, aluminium. The last time I skated anti was on Create Originals and really liked them. There's no way in hell I am skating these flat 58mm 88A because I don't have a death wish. I'm sure Montre Livingston does it. I'm sure he does it very well. Montre Livingston is one of the best skaters of all time. I am not. So that's what I'm going to be testing out for the next few weeks. Yeah.
Are you going to skate them? You might have just said this, but you're not even going to skate them flat one time as they come.
Those middle wheels are coming straight out. Some white anti-rockers are going to be purchased from somewhere. Flat on Create Originals. If you're skating flat on Create Originals on anything above 55mm, you are either insane or more skilled than 99.9% of rollerbladers. I am not Sean Kelso. No.
And they're 88s, right?
Yeah, they're soft. Like No way.
That's scary, bro. That's
I
scary.
don't
It's
want the majority of my
it's
tricks
not
are
as bad
spot
as
tricks. Imagine doing a unity. Imagine doing a unity on a rough ledge on flat 55, 88 on Create Originals. I'm getting pitched to the ground fast.
sorry, what's the durometer? 58s?
58, yeah.
And it's like round profile wheels?
Flat. I would say flat with a taper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Fake round. Fake
Oh,
round.
come on, Dave. You got to at least give us one back Favre on a ledge with the wheels in there.
No. I get injured enough.
Okay, fair enough.
I get hurt more than enough. Although there's so many random features. Sorry, I was looking at the skate. It only arrived a couple of hours ago. The skate has got 2 heel pads. 2.
Oh, your favorite.
Which I'll try and show. But
those liners look tasty. I like them.
Prime liners. Again, I'm not a fan of prime liners.
Yeah.
So inside the liner. Oh god, can't get out.
Tight.
Inside the liner, let's get this massive heel on the footbed, right?
Yeah.
2 heel pads.
That's a lot of Choco Jorbson.
That's some Stefan Brando configuration going on right there. That's mental.
That's a lot. Like how actually thick that it really is.
Like look how far apart my fingers are.
Yeah.
Like that is it's like that on top of that. That is a lot. So
that is a lot.
Looks like I'm going to have to start doing roof drops again. I don't know if my 40-year-old knees are going to take it, but I'm not going to get heel bruise. I want to be good for heel bruise.
Yeah. I actually bruised my heel yesterday. Fun fact. There was that. But
how?
Stupid. I did a stupid ass top acid drop that I knew I shouldn't have done after 2 IPA beers. Don't tell anyone.
Never drink and skate. I'm bad enough at skating at the best of times. I don't need alcohol inhibiting it. Also, I didn't realize as well, the cuff has 4 positions. 4.
Yeah.
That's like K2 frames from the 90s. Like, why? That's a lot of choice for a cuff.
That is a lot of choice. I'm getting like decision paralysis here.
Exactly. There's such a thing as offering someone too many options. If you that one, right? I know what you mean.
Yeah, stupid. This was actually first try, not a flex. I'm just saying that because I'm happy it was first try because I bruised my freaking heel because I have 0 shock absorbers on these.
Well, you need to make up for your, let's be honest, less than satisfactory performance at forum ledges.
At forum ledges.
I watched that video, Ben. Sweat stance. That's the best you've got down forum. Sweat stance. That's it.
Sweaty? I didn't even sweaty forum. Oh, I did.
Yeah, you did. The one that Sammy filmed.
Did you see the one where I went out with Jumbo and I did a line? I did topsoul, then I went around and kind grinded a second one.
Oh, did you? I started watching that. Might not have got to the end. It looked like there wasn't enough run up to actually carve that quickly and do it. I mean, still, it's okay. It's still a topsoul and a king grind.
What are you expecting of me, Dave? What do you want me to do?
You're higher tier than that. You could at least you could have dropped a back torque on it. You've got back torques.
I might actually. You know what's funny? I was just thinking because there's that. I'm not going to show it, but there's the one that I skated with the Irish lads. Sam always fucks me up. I always try to do like a Scottish accent. It turns into Irish.
So if you're doing Scottish, it needs to be a little bit gruffer. But then if you're doing Irish, you go right there. We're from Ireland, so we are. You're right there. You done, Paul? You need to get a little bit more pixie-ish, a little bit more leprechaunish. Yeah, like forum is a glorified grind box, right? It's a high.
Yeah, but it's high. But it's high. It is high.
I mean, yeah, I've kind grinded it. You're better than me. You can.
Says who?
you can do more than a kind grind and a sweaty on it. At least give us a fish brain.
So I want to do a line. I do want to do a line. Like Mary in the new equity edit. Did you see the new Aeon equity thing? Anyway, Mary did what, right foot sole and then left foot sole.
Yeah.
It's a different spot, but it's the same idea. But I'm trying to think of what I want to do because I actually was like, maybe I could do back to work. But I don't know, man. Those ledges actually scare me a little bit more than
There no video does it. See, when you're actually standing next to it, you're like, man, this is above waist height.
yeah.
You're like, these are high. But
And
on top sides, I feel like it's kind of hard to get it wrong. Like it's like you have to be pretty inaccurate to not lock it, and you also have to be pretty unlucky to get hurt.
here's where I'm gonna disagree with you slightly, is because I almost, in a way, prefer rails because I almost busted my dome piece on the kind grind. I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll pull it up, but I almost busted my dome piece because I missed the, call it, sole foot. My right foot, or the H block foot, stayed on, got hung up because it's a box instead of a rail where I would have just like racked and grabbed the rail. I wouldn't have actually, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So my leg got hung up and then hucked me down the stairs to where I almost like hit my head.
but
Should have
that's what
been
I'm
wearing a
saying.
helmet.
That's bad luck. That's not like that. Like more often than not,
Yeah.
you would just have missed and slid down the middle section.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just feel safer on rails. Like if those were rails,
I mean,
I don't know, they're high as
of
fuck,
course
dude.
you do, you little like handicap rail tap dancer. Of course you feel more comfortable. I've seen all your old edits where you literally crawl up to a rail at like 2 mile an hour, then jump on it and do 10 switch ups. You've got a rail
I wasn't
fetish.
going slow.
You've got a
I
rail
was not
fetish.
going
Pull it up,
whatever.
pull up the old
No.
section. Pull up the old section of you.
No.
Every trick's royale alley topsail.
All right, whatever.
I call it the
Whatever.
dink dink
Let's
section.
just
Every
the,
trick, dink 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 dink.
it's true. You know what? I didn't realize because I skated from whatever 01 to, call it, like 2010 ish or 2009, and it was just like, hey, whoever does the most switch ups is the best.
Mm-hmm.
At least where I was from. And guess what? I was in a time capsule for 10 years. I come back and I'm just like, cool, switch ups. I like switch ups. And I honestly genuinely like switch ups. And I realize they're not everyone's cup of tea. And I'm not saying that I even like watching people do obnoxious amounts of switch ups. I just like doing it because it's like a puzzle I get to put together because I'm like fucking half autistic, I'm pretty sure. But
Imagine if you could get Sean Kelso together and you two have a battle on a P rail. I think now he would obviously rinse you on 1 foot switch ups, but you've got some Michael Flatley feet. You've got some Riverdance shit going on. I think you could do stuff that he'd be like, "Oh, that's gonna hurt. If I miss that, that's gonna hurt." I think you could worry Sean Kelso in a P rail contest.
wait, what was
I
the
think
last
if
thing you said? You think I could what?
worry,
What was the last thing?
concern, Sean Kelso.
Okay. Okay, concern.
I
Sorry,
think
because
if
I
you
was like,
won,
my brain was going off.
I think if you won the coin toss and you got to go first and you did some of that shit, Sean would be like, "Oh, this could be embarrassing for me."
That's the thing, bro. Is like a lot of those switch ups that I put out, it only took me 69.7 tries to land.
Did you
So,
hear Sean? Did you hear Sean say how many that 1 foot round the world took him?
no, I don't remember.
He said something like in the ballpark of hours. It took him hours to do it. So Colin's sitting there in the camera going, "I want to go home." Like I'm hungry. Sean's
Yeah,
like
like,
Sean's like, "One more attempt." Colin's like, "I've heard that before. That means 3 fucking hours. We're gonna be here until it's dark." And fair
been
play,
there.
it's one of the hardest tricks ever done on a ledge ever,
Mhm,
but he
mhm.
openly admits hundreds of attempts.
Yeah, I love it because a lot of my tricks take. Yeah, I don't even want to get into it. Anyway, thank you for complimenting my switch ups. I appreciate that. And my old videos where I'm going up to the rail really fast and doing a bunch of switch ups. I
Really
really
fast.
appreciate
It
you
was
saying those
really
things.
smooth and elegant. There was a fluidity to it that can only be described as a graceful swan careening across the water. It was very smooth and elegant. I'm never
Yeah,
playing
no.
you a game of Blade ever because I don't really want to get broken off doing tippy tappy switch ups. I'm not no. Actually, my condition would be it has to be single tricks. If we play
Yeah.
the game of Blade, it would have to be single tricks. If you did one switch up, I'd be like, no, we're done. I'm pissed off now. He's upset me.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And I think Billy and Austin were I can't remember. I think they were having that like not argument but discussion where it's like, are switch ups allowed in games of Blade?
Yeah, they said they thought it was like dirty. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess if it's mutually agreed, because if you have switch ups that'll fuck me up and vice versa, and we're both like, yeah, cool. We agree to
I don't.
we agree. It's just an example. But if we mutually agree to it beforehand, it's like, okay, cool. We can agree to any rules we want. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if you agree with that, but anyway, I'm just going down the rabbit hole at this point. It's been
The rule is it's strip blade. Every time you get a letter, you have to take off an item of clothing.
so what's that? 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Okay. Dave, dude, thank you so much for coming on. Anything we didn't talk about that we need to cover before we wrap this up?
Not at all. Just how much longer are you in Barcelona for? I'm just insanely jealous of your sabbatical from adult life.
Yeah, it's been a dream. I'm waiting to wake up from it. Still here for another call it week. Call it 6
Oh,
weeks.
so not long at all. Did you
Yeah,
say
6
you're
weeks.
there for one more week?
Oh no, 6 weeks. 6.
Oh, 6 weeks. Sorry, I thought you said 1 week.
Yeah. About 6 weeks.
Right.
5, 6 weeks.
Wow. So that's still a long way to go. Okay.
I'm maxing out the 90 days. I was like, dude, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving until I have to. So,
I mean, do it. Live the dream. Peter Pan syndrome. Every rollerblader has Peter Pan syndrome. So why not just fully embrace it? I get it.
yeah, it's tough to leave, man. Anyway, yeah, and then off to the Philippines, and we'll see what the hell happens after that, bro.
Wait, what? You're moving to the
Yeah,
Philippines?
Philippines.
Why?
I mean,
Why
not
there?
moving. I mean, whatever.
Oh, sorry.
Living
Wait.
there.
Well, why are you going? What inspired that?
A big part of it was just one, because why not? Two, to save money, because I know it's very inexpensive to live there. And so I'm from Florida. I'm from not where Alex Broskow is from, but there is a lot of aluminum there. But no, I'm from Florida. I'm a Florida man. I miss the beach, dude. I mean, granted, I'm right here next to the beach, but if I can go live in the Philippines, save a bunch of money, come back, buy an RV van, and just be a digital nomad traveling across the United States of America making content, then that's what I'm going to do. That's not the plan, but it could be. I don't know.
Okay, like it. Although I imagine the Philippines the beaches there have got less pickpockets than the ones in Barcelona. The
Come on,
Barcelona
man.
beaches are the worst for pickpockets. We used to just sit there and watch them. They've got a really cool operation where one guy like stands on the side and like communicates to them via like wireless headsets, and they just go around and just pilfer all these tourist bags. And you see tourists going into the beach, going into like the water, and then just their phones and their wallets and their purses just getting jacked in real time.
Yeah.
You can just sit having a beer watching it happen. It's unreal.
Yeah. My life has been. I learned that hard lesson in Amsterdam.
Oh shit, that's right. You
Um,
got picked. I forgot about that straight away.
oh, I thought you were saying that on purpose. Like,
No,
still too
no.
soon.
I actually forgot about that. You've got that look. You've got the look of a naive tourist. You've got the look of someone that needs to be pickpocketed.
Oh, that needs to be pickpocketed.
Actually, you didn't even get pickpocketed. You basically got mugged. Let's be honest. Like you caught the guy. You caught the guy doing it and just couldn't.
That's the thing, man.
That's a
Is in
mugging. That's
hindsight,
not pickpocket. That's a mugging.
that's the thing is I thought it was him, but Upon reflection, I'm not sure. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole again, but there was a group of girls that bumped in. I mean, I'm talking about slammed into me. Some cut in front of me, some cut in back of me on the escalator as Sammy and I are going down to walk to the Airbnb. I was like, what the fuck? Because she like just cut me off right at the escalator going down. And her friend, I think one of her friends was behind me. And it wasn't until then we come out, and then a dude gets a little bit oddly close, but he's alone. It's just him. There's no diversion tactics. There's no like, oh, whatever. It's just him. And he walks awkwardly close to me. And I'm like, oh shit, let me check my back pocket. And my shit was gone. And immediately I start like eyeing down the guy. I'm like, what should I do? What should I do? Should I like confront him? And then upon reflection, I'm like, it probably wasn't him. It was probably the girls.
Probably the group of girls, yeah. Actually, if I was going to mug anyone out of you and Sammy, it would be Sammy. He's tiny. Like, if he turns around and gets angry at me, I'd be like, so? What are you going to do? If you turned around and get angry at me, I'd be like, this guy's going to break my jaw.
I don't know. It's probably the inverse. Sam gets mad, he probably would knock me out and everyone else around. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, you know him a lot better than
I've beaten up Sam plenty of times. He's not beating anyone up. It's fine.
Haggis Caliente, mutual friend of ours. I mean, you guys have been friends way longer, but yeah, he's our mutual friend here.
That's wild. So Barcelona, Philippines. Okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
How was it?
So we'll see, man. Adventure.
What was it like hanging out with my dad? Was he good to you?
He was great. He was great, man. It was amazing. The dude is it's clear he's been doing the YouTube thing for as long as he has, which has been a long time. And the guy is he's a master at his craft at just coming up with stuff on the fly. I know you didn't like that. I don't know how much you like the idea of the swapping skates or whatever.
Ricardo, it sucked. I expect better of you, Dad. Right? You let me down, Dad. Just I'm talking to Mom about this when we get home.
Yeah. But anyway, I had a great time with Ricardo here. It was rough because we went to the Mimo Trash Park, the P Box DIY heaven here in Barcelona, and I skated for like 5.5 hours. I'm talking straight hard skating, filming, and I was so smoked. And then skated with Ricardo, my legs were just smoked, dude. So anyway, I'm just rambling.
See, if you want to sweat less, stop skating in long sleeve t-shirts and wear an actual t-shirt like a sane person. Right?
I don't want a farmer's Dave. I don't want a farmer's tan. I'm not a farmer. I don't have that level of clout.
It's not equally weird having a tanned neck and head, but a completely pale body. That's not strange at all.
No, because I put sunscreen on and I often wear sun hats.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, is that the reason for the big ridiculous fisherman's hat?
It's not ridiculous. You take that back. Yes, I want to. It is honestly for sun protection. I was in San Antonio. I'm a weirdo. I don't like getting sunburned. I mean, I was out on the beach for fucking 2 hours today with my shirt off, working out on the beach or whatever. But I don't want a farmer's tan, Dave. You want to hear me say it? I'm afraid.
Oh, okay, babe. Okay.
Sorry for getting riled up here. His mom said he looked handsome. Chat is hilarious right now. Yeah, I mean, look at the Middle East. Dave, what do they wear? Long ass robes. What?
Okay.
What?
Quite a few things to unpick there. First off, they already have tanned skin, so no. And second, the women wear them for religious reasons. So
let's not bring that into this. I'm talking about sun protection. I'm talking about heat dissipation. Corey English, who we both know is in chat, that's completely inaccurate. Long sleeves keep you cooler. Look at roofers, people who do roofing jobs, long sleeves, big hats. We're done here. We're done. Case closed. It's been real. It's been mostly enjoyable.
Hey, if I didn't bust your balls this wouldn't have been a conversation, because that's what I do. So
I'm messing with you, bro. This is fun. We have to do this more often. We absolutely have to. Anything else, man? I keep asking this, but anything else?
No. What else is happening? I am filming that skate thing. That's happening. I keep getting hurt. Winter Clash, I basically just spent it all being drunk, but at least I didn't miss a sweat stance on a box and get pitched to the ground
Come
like
on, bro. Yeah,
ragdoll.
stream's over. Stream's fucking over. Bye, guys.
Oh, is it my heat? Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Eat shit.
I mean, it's true. I can't even
Although
be mad.
you did have, like, if, like, some would say that made it more memorable than if you just landed it. The fact that you ate it gave you, well, it gave Jeff a potentially viral Instagram moment. So I'm sure Jeff was thankful for the slam footage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever I can do to help, you know. I honestly think it makes a better story. Oh shit. Damn. Instead of Ben skating or whatever and like didn't make what, hey, it's like, oh, Ben, hey, in standard Ben fashion was skating a fucking P box while his heat was going on, skated for the last 35 seconds, ate all this shit on a sweat stance, got back up, landed it at the last second. Cool. The story to me, a little bit better than just, oh yeah, it didn't go well.
It was rollerblading's very own Rocky storyline. So, well, your rollerblading's equivalent of Rocky Balboa. There you go.
Yeah, let's go. I'll take it. I'll take that every day of the week. Okay, so you're working on filming. You're getting injured.
Or getting injured doing that. What else has been happening? Hopefully going to start a new video this year. The goal is to get to 100 episodes of platform, and then I think I'm going to retire it. I think that's 100 episodes, then done. It's not really, it's never really got any backing. No brands ever really got behind it. At least with Jump Street are like, oh, like brands support it intermittently and it goes somewhere. Platform isn't really, and it's my favorite thing to do. If I could just do platform, I wouldn't do any of the other stuff. But other than that, if I didn't, like, the channel wouldn't get that many views. But yeah, I love doing the interviews, but there's no corporate backing of it, and you're like, how long can you keep doing it? Because it's not like the YouTube views are giving it any, you're not making money from that. So it's like, I would rather just do other stuff instead. So yeah, 100 episodes of platform podcast, potentially that's where it ends.
What are you at now?
79.
Okay, so we got some time. Got some time.
Yeah, especially considering I don't ever repeat guests, so that might make it take longer as well. So yeah,
I mean, would you make an exception?
Very rare. I did. Billy's the only one that's came on twice, and that's because Mesmer started. If he didn't start Mesmer, I wouldn't have had him on again.
Roger.
And also, I'd be less likely to have people on if they've already been on Jump Street, just because I don't really like the idea of like treading the same ground. Like, I feel like that's kind of pointless. Like, people go, oh, like, get such and such on, and I'm like, you don't need them on. Like, they've told their best stories. Like, so yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
I've got a lot of stupid ideas for videos. I'm sure some of them will see the light of day.
I can't wait to see what they
especially if I keep doing impressions of your favorite friendly neighborhood rollerblader, Montre Livingston. Shit, I could do videos just making fun of my favorite pro skaters, just doing impressions of them, but that would just piss off all my favorite pro skaters.
Does he do it? I can't remember if Montre does it. I feel like the camera, the freaking lighting here. But doesn't he do like the thing, or has he done it in the past? I can't remember, where like the skate comes in. He's like, "What's up?" Like where the skate drops into frame.
I don't know. I just know that now his new tagline, his old tagline used to be "Turkey Bacon." Every time he said something, "Turkey Bacon," then he get pissed off at everyone shouting "Turkey Bacon" at him. So now he goes, "What's up, everybody? It's your friendly neighborhood rollerblader, Montre Livingston." But yeah,
What was the turkey bacon thing? I don't
He
understand.
just kept
I missed that
shouting
lore.
out. He kept shouting out in like edits and stuff like that, and like contests. But then every time Montre would go anywhere on a tour or a contest, people would shout at him, and he started getting really pissed off about it. And then being like, "I don't even eat that. I don't even like that." He would just say it. It was like he's like
And then,
catchphrase.
but he said it himself. That inspired his fans and followers to start saying it, but then he didn't
got
like
annoyed.
that.
Yeah. It was definitely a thing for a while. For when he was first on USD, maybe when the early years of USD, he was shouting that out a lot for some unknown reason.
What do you know? You learn something new every day.
Just little nuggets of absolutely useless information that have no benefit to the world at all. That is my service. That is what I am here to provide to the universe.
Well, aside from your good looks, Dave. Okay, man, we're almost right at 2 hours. I think that's going to be it. Go subscribe to Dave, support him. I put your link tree in the description, so go check out his link tree. You can check out his Patreon, all his other stuff there. Dave, thank you so much. Can you give us like a double thumbs up? What happens on that?
I don't know how this works. Is this like, so I got a new Mac, and I don't know if it's the Mac that's doing it, but it keeps, I can't see if anyone knows. Can you please like DM me and tell me how to take it off? Because I don't understand what setting it is that's doing it. I also don't understand how it's not working now. It's not doing it.
Yeah, that's super strange.
If anyone knows why sometimes you raise your thumb and it appears that little bubble, I would really like to know. I can't make it do that now because I don't know anything about technology, and it's a miracle that I even run a YouTube channel. There you go.
Oh, shit. Oh. Hello, Austin.
Oh, whoa. Oh, hi there.
Austin, we got you on because we're going to both take turns teaching you how to tie shoelaces.
Oh!
Austin will be able to verify this. Austin, did Montre Livingston, or did he not, used to randomly shout out turkey bacon?
I think he wanted to change his name legally to Turkey Bacon at one point.
You used to, because you were hanging around with him during that period.
Ben? Yeah, he was heavy on the turkey bacon.
There you go.
There you go. We got the lore dump. Austin, we were actually going to wrap this up here pretty soon. Dave, if you need to go, whenever you need to go, let me know. But
well, actually, we can ask Austin a very, very serious question, because Austin's obviously the instigator of this entire storyline that we've been talking about for this entire video. Austin,
of course, I was waiting for you to get to that, Dave.
How do you feel about your part in getting Sean Keane kicked off Blank?
Well, I specifically called Sean Keane and was like, "You're done. We don't want you on the team anymore." You know, that's how it went down. In case you were wondering.
You edged him out because you're the one putting out all the content, and you don't ask for much in return. You're just like, "Tom, can you send me a pair of skates every once in a while? I'll drop the sections. I'll drop the Instagram.
I didn't drop no section. I didn't drop a section.
What?
A rollerblade section?
Oh, was the butter one was all them? There was no blanks in the.
I had blanks in there too, but it was like a mix, half and half.
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
What, 2 years ago?
Hey,
3 years ago? I don't know what that was.
That's more recent than Sean.
Oh, damn. You're firing shots right now, Dave.
That's what I do.
No, he had his pro skate edit that came out like after my Butter TV. I don't know when it came out, but
no, that was a couple of years ago.
I think a year ago.
That was still more recent.
So when's the pro team announcement?
What pro team announcement?
You're keeping it under wraps. Okay, that's cool.
You talking about me?
Yeah.
I ain't pro material. Get out of here.
Well, Ben,
you made a lot of. See, I wish I joined in earlier when you were making all these points, Dave, because like you were on the same page with everything that I would have said before about like. I mean, it is hard for people who are like pro, I guess, and like 35, 40 years old have to like put out all this content and everything. Like, not everyone's a kid nowadays, you know. We can't just be skating 7 days a week filming ourselves all day, every day. We're not all Ben Sanders. So it's tough to get that going, to get like all the content all the time. And that's why there should be room for younger skaters to come up and be AM pro and do all that shit that everyone else was doing 20 years ago, when we started. When pros and AMs were like teens and or like early 20s and try to work their way up to being pro. You don't think so?
Oh, absolutely. But don't you think it's Ben? Do you remember not so long ago Austin put out a video saying, "Should I be sponsored?" You don't think that's coincidental that now he's edging people out of pro teams just so he can get on those pro teams? We know what you're doing, Austin. You're an evil genius.
Well, thank you for watching my video, Dave. But,
clearly, I'm obviously joking about all of this, but yeah, I do it's as a situation where I don't really feel like anyone should be positioned with the blame. Blank obviously have stuff that they require. Sean is not fulfilling those requirements. He can't be on the team. So yeah,
same thing. I see both sides of it. Also, it's like when it comes down to it, it's a business. There's other teams out there that have cut pay for their riders that I know from very reputable sources. So it's not just like one company is doing it. It's just because Sean posted something online and everyone knows about it now. There's a lot of other shit happening in the industry that people don't know about. And when it comes down to it, it's a business. And I'm not standing up for Blank or standing up for Sean. I love them both, mad love for both, but it is a business and you got to make your money. And when there are budget cuts, there's been numerous budget cuts at Blank throughout the last few months. So that came down to it where he was like, oh shit, next step is I have to cut pay for some of the riders, which sucks, unfortunately. But other teams are doing the same thing as well, just that people aren't posting about it, so people don't know about it, And Sean was obviously upset about that and posted about it. I think he's a little more calm now, but either way, it is what it is.
The updated Instagram post was a lot more measured and offered a lot more clarity.
If that was like his first post, it would have been a different response,
Exactly. There would have been no outrage, or the outrage would have been minimal.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel for Sean. I mean, like when people look at it, Sean was I guess you could say kind of like the face of Blank. Like he was alone with a pro skate. He's been on it the longest, I think. And it sucks that he's gone now when he was stuck in that position. But he even said himself it caught him off guard, so I guess he wasn't expecting it. There probably could have been better communication at Blank altogether. Like, hey, like it's been a while. We've been expecting like either more content or whatever. Like you kind of need to like step it up if you want to be a part of the team. And that probably would have been all right. I don't know if that happened or not, but there's probably other ways of going around getting it better. But when it came down to it, you have to cut something, I guess. And they cut, unfortunately, Sean. It sucks.
Yeah. Right, Ben, I've flirted with you long enough. I know we said we were going to have a threesome, but I'll leave you to look at Austin. Also, he's a lot more aesthetically pleasing than I am, so I'll let you guys can flirt and talk about your beautiful coiffed hair, and I'll go on and
I just got out of the shower.
Shine my head in peace. It's already very shiny, though. It's already very shiny. Also, Austin, I can't believe that we never spoke at Winter Clash and I never actually got within 50 yards of you. I saw you at the other side of the skate park during the pro contest, and I was like, I'm never getting over there. So I'm also devastated.
I thought you weren't there. I straight up thought you weren't there. And I was like, oh, it's strange that he didn't show up. I saw afterwards.
Yeah.
There was a few people that I saw on Instagram who were like, damn, how did I not see you at all once all weekend? But that's how those events are. It's fucking crazy.
Well, it wasn't you I wanted to speak to. It was Mariah, because I wanted to call her out for having Ben's back during the game of skate and not yours. Every time you fall, she laughed.
That's what she does.
And every time Ben landed a trick, she cheered.
That's what she does.
What kind of behavior is that? What kind of behavior? Well, I'm not happy. Mariah, if you're watching this, have your boys back, right? Don't stick up for Ben. Don't stick up for Ben.
It's funny. Remember when I came on your podcast? She jumped in the background. Now, tonight she's going on Spook Wackadoo's podcast, which is what I'm setting up for now. I'm setting up for that now. And I'll be heckling for sure.
She's going to give away all the secrets. She's going to rat you out.
She probably would. I don't doubt you on that one. That's
Right.
fair. That's what I was doing this whole time before I saw Ben's invite. Before.
Oh no, he pulled the plug. He pulled the wrong plug.
That's
Dave, if you want to dip, man.
That's Jump Street for you. They just don't have the technical know-how. They don't know how to do this stuff professionally. They're just Billy's got Wi-Fi that doesn't work, and he can't even get through a podcast. And Austin doesn't even know how to plug in the right cable for the unbelievable. That's what Mariah will be talking about on that podcast tonight. Just how incompetent he is at doing this whole YouTube thing.
Right. I'm sure that's exactly going to be the topic of discussion. So
either that or Austin's shoelace is untied, and he's currently got a dilemma of trying to figure out how to resolve it. Because
it's not. They're not elastic.
They're not elastic. They're not.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, cool, man.
As soon as Austin gets back on, I'll jump off. I don't want to leave you hanging here on your own, talking to yourself in your room like a weirdo, because that's the amount of criticism I've got about that. Like, people message me and go, "You're just a sad guy, just talking to yourself in a camera in your room," and I'm like, that's what all YouTubers are. Every YouTube person you watch, that is what they are. You can single me out for that if you like, but you're the one watching.
Yeah. No, that's weird. That's literally. I like. Man. Lately, the sessions. It's really easy to do here in Barcelona. It's like, cool. There's a session every day. It's like flights out of LAX. It's just constant. It's like, oh, do I want to go here? They're gonna go there. So it's like, I don't know. It's just so much more fun to get out. But yeah, definitely alone in a room talking to a little camera takes some time to get used to.
Yep,
But
like a crazy person. Yeah.
Hopefully Austin jumps back on at some point. But when do you think you're gonna skate the AG15s for the first time?
It has rained all the time in Scotland. It is April, and I've still not been out on a full Saturday street skating. I will go out and grab an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours here or there between showers, and it's even the most recent review I did, you can see I'm clearly skating in the rain in some clips. The weather has been unbelievably bad, so we shall see. I've got a Saturday off tomorrow, and my partner is in Belgium with her daughter, so it would have been the perfect time to street skate all day, but it's meant to rain all day tomorrow, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Mother Nature will decide.
When are you gonna get the guys to take you to Clot Rail? If you've never been to Clot, you will love that. Have you heard of that rail? In Barcelona, it's one of Barcelona's most famous down rails. There's two in a row. Elliot Stevens does one in a local tour video where he does like top acid, then he alley-oop topso's the second one. I think Yuri Botello is like 540 true Mizuda. It's
what's it called again?
CLOT, Clot. It's an area of Barcelona.
Oh, I wonder if I can find it.
If you ask Sasha Lopez or any of those guys about Clot Rail, they all know it. It's Demetrius George fast slides it in his Barcelona thing, in his Barcelona Instagram thing. And I think he does alley-oop topsoul to Royale down it as well.
Is it pretty big?
It's I would say it's like a good 15 stairs.
Yeah.
It's not it's definitely on Demetrius George's Instagram.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I might be searching for that for a while.
Yeah, he does have a lot of stuff, but yeah, like everyone has done stuff down this, so it's definitely up your street.
That's what I was talking with Jack, one of the Irish lads that lives here now.
Jack Tobin. Yeah, I know Jack.
I skated with him yesterday a little bit. He filmed my heel bruise yesterday. But he was saying, what the hell is he saying? Oh yeah, I was like, dude, this place is. Oh, there's our NYC correspondent. Oh my god. But yeah, there's beautiful ledges, but the rails are not as plentiful. Austin, you're back.
That was funny you said that because Mariah called me and it disconnected the live stream because she was calling me. But she said
Gotcha.
she was laughing because she said I suck. More or less.
Wait, just in general? What do you mean? Well, like,
well, because she said that I don't really fall too often, so when she sees me fall, she thinks it's funny because I suck.
Oh. During the game of Blade or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what you said, right, Dave?
Yep.
Yeah, my bad. I totally forgot where we left off.
Oh, Dave, I'm sorry to interrupt whatever you guys were talking about before, but I have a more important bone to pick with Dave.
Yeah, please.
Because I did a lot of thinking after he's told me numerous times, or I've heard him say numerous times, that he doesn't like John Elliott's section from Brain Fear Gone.
Oh my god.
Ooh, did I say that? I just said I didn't think he was
He's just
up
overrated.
There.
What
No,
did he say?
I said I didn't. I just didn't see him as a mind game. I didn't see him as being up there with Dustin and Brian.
That's not what you said. Get out of here.
To be fair, I also don't think Omar Wysong should have been there either. He wasn't a mind game type skater. In fact, he was very much the opposite of a mind game type skater.
I could see that, but I remember you said a couple times that you thought fucking shit.
I do think his vocabulary is very limited, and I was never a big fan of his execution.
Who, John? John Elliott?
He had a lot of.
You said you hated a lot that his hand went down.
He had a lot of baker makers. He had a lot of like slapping the hand on the ground. Where if your friend did that at a session, you'd be like, "Get your ass back up those stairs."
And it's funny because after the last time I heard you say that, it might have been on one of the podcasts that you did. I watched it again, and I appreciated it more than ever. I was like, damn, this section is way better than I remember, because it also wasn't like my favorite section in the video growing up. I was like, Latimer and Shima were like the ones that stood out to me, but I watched it again now and I'm like, damn, like with the music and everything too, and the sepia tone, like it hit me differently now than it did back in the day. So it's funny you said that. I watched it with your mindset and the opposite came out of it, you know?
Oh God, Gabriel Hayden gave me the biggest amount of shit for that as well, because he was like, dude, that guy changed the face of rollerblade, like he's iconic, da, 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 da. And I was like, that's fine that he did that for you. I'm allowed to have a different interpretation. Like I'm allowed to, like I've like the amount of times I've said Dominic Sagona is one of my favorite skaters of all time, and someone's went, oh, he's sketchy, like he doesn't even land his tricks properly.
Who says that?
Like
no
so many people have came back to me about that, and I'm like, yeah, what? I don't care. Like he was so like he made up all this shit. He came up with he was doing stuff. He invented loads of tricks. Like no one was doing those like weird cork fives on street and stuff like that. No one was doing the thread the needle. Dustin Latimer used to copy Dominic Sagona's tricks. He would Dustin Latimer would steal Dominic Sagona's tricks. Like what are you talking about? But people, everyone's got a different interpretation of someone's skating. Like Ben, for example, loves to tap dance on handicap rails. I would rather go and eat glass.
Also, Dave, what's going on? Are we losing? Oh
no, I was gonna remove him from the stream. I was gonna pull him from the stream.
I was gonna say, Dave, I'm happy you post yourself skating more now. I feel like I've never seen you skate until the last couple of years. And I was one of these guys that does like he's like
I just started rollerblading. I only just
skate.
No, I didn't. It's not that I didn't used to. I just started skating.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. But I thought you were one of those guys always who like used to skate, now does stuff with skating. But I like that you show that you skate now and you make videos.
Hey, Austin, you and I see each other face to face. It's going down, my friend. Right?
Oh, is it?
I'll take a letter or two off you.
Okay, we'll see. I'm ready for Ben next time too.
Yeah. It was a fluke, Austin. This is not like some weird. It was a fluke. If you would have landed,
no, it wasn't. You earned that.
I told Austin afterwards. I told Austin afterwards that was a complete fix, and that you somehow like paid him to like skate shit, because he didn't do any of his signature tricks. He didn't do a single true spin top sole. He didn't bring out the topside teat Austin used to love doing his little topside tea kettle things and all his old eulogy edits. He never even brought that out. And I was like, you didn't bring out any of the special tricks.
Yeah, but that's the corny shit.
I thought he threw it. I accused him of throwing the game of Skate.
That's like the corny shit though. I remember like me, Billy, and Franco Camara used to play Skate all the time because we all grew up together skating. And Franco was the weird skater at the time. He had the unusual tricks. He always like rough sweat stances, all these weird things, and like cab drivers and stuff. And I remember me and Billy would be so pissed that he would do those tricks. And after that,
they work. They work. It's like whenever I play a game of Skate, there's a trick that Ezekiel Anderson used to do, and he would do a back royale, but his front foot would be in the acid position. So like backside royale, front foot in acid. So
isn't that like a citric acid?
Well, he used to call it an acid rain, and they used to call it acid rain.
Oh, acid rain, that's what it's called, yeah.
Well, we'd go to the skate park, and I'd go to the down rail and just do one in the down rail, and everyone's like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to split it and like get scorpioned on like the worst trick ever. Like that trick is like the lamest looking thing I've ever seen. So anytime we'd play Skate, I'd drop that, and everyone's like, I'm not doing that. I'm taking a letter. So you do cringe shit in games of Skate because that's how you punish your friends.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't want to be that guy.
Oh,
it was a gentleman's game. It was a gentleman's game.
No. What Austin's saying is he cares too much about his rep. He cares too much about his image to go down the cringe route.
I don't want to be the guy known to just fucking. And I wouldn't get him on True Top Soul. He's got True Top Soul. He's got everything.
Does he have it first try? Because you need it first try in Skate.
I don't know. I was pissed I didn't get that True Top Horn switch though. I was super pissed about that.
Oh, and it looks so good. I'm pissed off you didn't get it because that shit would have looked so good.
That really bothered me for a few days afterwards. I'm not gonna
lie. Right, I'm gonna leave you to it.
Not that I lost, just that I couldn't do that trick for some reason.
Yeah, no, that bothered me. I lost sleep over it.
It's 7:15 at night here, and I'm going to the bar, so I'm leaving you guys alone, and I'm gonna go and do what 40-year-old dads do in small town Scotland and get drunk.
I'm gonna head out to have to get my taxes done for Jump Street.
Oh, shit.
That shouldn't take long. Right.
It shouldn't. You're right. It shouldn't.
Actually, I don't know why I'm making fun of you because you guys have far more revenue than I do. Right. Speak to you guys soon.
All right. Later.
Bye,
later, guys.
Bye. All right, friends. That was it. Sorry I wasn't able to highlight chat or highlight comments on screen. Lesson learned: if I generate the stream on StreamYard and then basically export it to YouTube in private originally, it won't let me have chat up. And it's really, really frustrating because I love having your comments up on screen. But anyway, what are we at? Almost coming up on 2.5 hours live stream. We had Dave McNamara from Wheel Scene. Check out all his information down in the description below. Does great interviews, takes really a lot of time on his product reviews, and they're really, really good. Austin Paz popped on for a couple minutes. Maybe we'll have a follow-up. I don't know. But good times. Make sure to give the stream a thumbs up. Again, this whole thing was really about Sean Keane getting the boot from Rollerblade BLANK, the BLANK team. And at first there was a lot of confusion around it. Hey, what happened? We need to understand. And what's going on here? Because originally, this is just sort of a recap at this point. But this was sort of the original story post. I didn't see this, but I got this from someone. Made this post earlier, and then not even an hour after I get fired from at Rollerblade BLANK Rolling Products. So much for 14 years of dedication to a brand. So there's a lot of negative response, right? A lot of unhappy response in the comments, which makes total sense. And then Sean followed up with this. I think it was today or yesterday. It's all been a little bit of a blur of the last couple of days. Sorry, guys. But then he sort of clarifies sort of what happened for us. Budget cuts and not posting on here enough are on here being Instagram. Not posting on here enough are the reasons I am no longer on Rollerblade BLANK. And he talks about getting hurt. He talks about all this stuff. And again, feel free to pause this and read it and go through it with a fine-tooth comb. Do your thing. But Also props to him. He does sort of own this part of it too. Also, never been the most pro type skater out there doing contests or dropping consistent video parts. And so I don't know, man. Dave had some I said unpopular opinions. But I think Dave made some valid points for sure. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Let me know in the comments where you think Sean Keane is going to go. I think there is a strong argument for T-Nick. I think that does make sense. Dave made some strong arguments for that. And Lino was in chat. Ricardo, glad to skate with you the other day. Fun video. Go over, if you haven't seen it yet, on Ricardo Lino's channel. He and I do a skate battle. Not a game of skate, but something a little different. So that just got posted a few hours ago. So go check it out on Ricardo's channel. Thank you, Ricardo, for making that super fun. But anyway, Rollerbitters, and to Sean, if you're seeing this, man, again, best of luck. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of companies that would love to have you. I love your skating. I don't think I've ever seen you do one trick that I even think I could consider even trying. Yeah, so the level of your skating, just the technicality and the skill involved is beyond my comprehension the majority of the time. So anyway, Rollerbitters, I appreciate you being here. Give the stream a thumbs up on your way out if you don't mind. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Thank you to everyone that supports the channel on Patreon and here on YouTube as a channel member. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.